Yes,
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 sir.
it
Today we
is.
understood the basics. We also understood the methodology, and now we have started our journey of learning, mastering the DMAC methodology. First thing is define phase. First, I will give you a bigger picture of what you need to do in the define phase, and then we'll go tool by tool. So, first thing I would like to talk to you is toll gate review. At the end of the define phase, definitely the sponsor and the champion and the management will be interested in knowing what have you done. So there will be a meeting happening, and definitely there will be some questions, and the team should be able to give a convincing reply to all those questions. Let us see some sample questions, and then you will realize how important it is to work sincerely during the define phase, and then the steps involved and the tools involved. So the first question, you are proposing a project. Is this project important to business at this point of time? You want to solve a problem because you picked up a project, but the organization is going to support, provide the resource, provide the money, provide time. There are many things involved. So your organization is going to support. So how it is connected to organization's goal? The goal alignment has to be there, and that has to be highlighted. Another point, does a business case exist? One is goal alignment. What I want and what you are trying to do, yes, they are linking. At the same time, if I invest money, is it giving the proper return? Or is there any other project where I can go and invest the same money and get more benefit? So that is also important. So that's business case. That means business case means they are expecting the Z variable. You are trying to solve something related to Y, but your boss will be interested in the Z. So what is that Z? How much is that going to be the benefit? You should be able to give a convincing reply. And then have you identified the CTQ? All through the day you are saying problem, customer complaint. But what is that problem? What is that customer is talking about? Can you talk in terms of technical characteristics? Isn't it? Which is what we call it quality characteristics. So have you identified the CTQ? Is it just one CTQ or many CTQs you are going to attack? In case if there are multiple CTQs you are going to attack just in the same project, is it that simple? Are you really capable of doing it? Is that all the CTQs are connected to the same process? You just have to have a clarity. Otherwise, it is always better to go one by one. Just in case if you lag in terms of the clarity, it is better to take CTQ one by one. Nothing wrong in floating multiple projects. Let everybody work. There are a lot of problems. There are a lot of people. Let everybody learn and then everybody correct one problem. And one day our organization will be problem free. Are project plan and key milestones available? You are saying that the project will run for 4 months. Is that the proper plan is available? Milestones are created, roles and responsibilities are created, and the timelines are created, and all those things are required. Just put yourself, in your management's position. Then you will understand the importance of all these questions. If you have to sponsor 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, obviously you will also be interested in knowing all of this. And that is what is required in the defined phase. And then are project boundaries and stakeholders identified? Like you are trying to solve a problem, involving so many departments. Then everyone in the department becomes the stakeholder. If the stakeholder is interested in solving your problem, it is better to bring them in your scope. Isn't it? Not just stakeholder, the role they are responsible for, because their role is also important. Suppose everything, let's say the restaurant, the cook has the ability to cook very tastier food. And now the fellow who is serving the food, he can spoil the entire spirit of the organization, isn't it? The food is very tasty, but then he is just throwing everything on the table. And now also it's a problem. So now you have to take a decision. Whether shall we include the servicing also in the scope of the project? If you include, then you should also think about training your, people who are serving the food. Otherwise, you just have to work with the chef. But sometimes it will look very easier attacking multiple issues at a time. I will train the service person one side. I will prepare the cook one side. I will prepare the billing fellow one side. So possible. It looks possible. I can take everything, in the scope of the project. But sometimes, if you take a technical case of, let's say, an aluminum casting, the surface finish, and the surface finish, whether it is connected to all the process or specific process, and you may lag in terms of clarity. Under those situations, it is better to scope the project to a specific process. Later on, definitely somebody will throw light on the other factors, then other process. So gradually we will improve it. So these questions you should be able to answer. This is not a complete list of questions. Only a sample question I am just, highlighting here. Like this, many questions might be asked. We should be able to find answer, give answer. For that purpose, we have to work effectively in the defined phase. Is that clear to all of you?
Yeah, one
Yes.
question from my side. What is the relevance of the circle? Sometimes it is entire black, sometimes half blue, half black. Does
No,
it have any relation with the question?
That's just a bullet point, nothing.
Okay, thanks.
So there is, I think it's not, it is just trying to rotate, but I think there is some discontinuity there.
Okay, noted, thanks.
Anything else? Okay. So define phase step. First step, project identification. Yesterday itself, I have spoke enough. How will you identify problem? Based on voice of the customer. Based on voice of the customer. Customer complaints are one good source. Hope all of you understand. Customer complaints are one good source of project identification. Customer complaints are good or bad? If I ask this question, what will be your reply? Are they good or bad?
It is good.
Good.
Yeah. We want to arrest the complaint, but at the same time, the complaints are good. Be patient enough to receive complaints. Allow your customers to talk about your product, talk about your service, talk about your business. Because they are coming back to you, they are complaining about you simply because they want you to do well. That's the reason why they are coming back and complaining. Always, they can avoid sharing the mistake you are doing. So customer complaint is one good source. Similarly, like the voice of the customer, voice of the business is another source. How your managers, leaders, top management, middle management, what are their frustration? Why are they not happy? Why are your customers not happy? Why are your business leaders not happy? These questions will throw light on problems that currently running. Hope all of you agree. Right? If information is available, if you have some system, mechanism, yes, definitely, you will get hundreds of project ideas. If suppose such a thing is not available, you need to create one. You can conduct a brand new survey. Think of, conducting a survey with your employees, right? And definitely all of them will highlight hundreds of problems, isn't it? You have thousands of employees. Conduct a survey. Try to understand their challenges. They're all, maybe related to CTQs, maybe related to CTBs, or maybe related to themselves. Problems which are critical to employees. Problems which are critical to employees, if unattended, what will happen to their motivation level? It will go down. What will happen to their level of engagement? That will go down. That in turn will affect your CTQs. That in turn will affect your business performance. So everything is a project opportunity, right? So either the system should already exist, or otherwise we have to, put some effort to grab those information. Another good method is you can call all of them for a discussion. You can call department wise. You can ask them to represent their problem. Give them some time, like how you have allowed them to fill up a survey. Same manner, you can allow them to make a presentation department wise. What are the challenges you have been experiencing in the last quarter or last year? We would like to work on it. And then definitely they will throw light. And definitely again, some of them will be related to CTQs, some of them will be related to CTBs. But both of them will be improvement opportunity for us. What we call it as projects. Project identification is the first step. Another good source is cost of poor quality. Already documented failures, already failures converted into dollars. If that information is available, that is also a source of improvement. Hope all of you agree, isn't it? Your warranty claim too high, your rejections, your company is losing several lakhs every day on rejection. So these are all, COPQ measures, and they also become improvement opportunity. Now you are flooded with problems. You have now hundreds of projects. Now do you have the capability to handle all those projects? Do you have resources, particularly in the form of problem solvers, in the form of people? People infrastructure is very, very important for Six Sigma. Right? You might have machineries, etc., but certain problem to solve, we definitely need people who are known as the Six Sigma bells. Non-bells can work on simple cases, Kaizen, quality circle, PDCA, some approach. You just conduct one-day training program and then they are ready to help you. But DMAC projects, people have to go through an extensive training like how all of you are going through right now. Then only they are ready for working on the project. Otherwise, they might direct your project in a wrong direction and unnecessarily wasting the organization resource. And finally, they will end up not achieving any result. So that should not be the case. That is why Six Sigma is sometimes becomes a costlier affair. Organization spends a lot of money on running Six Sigma project, but finally they end up losing money. That is simply because of the skill gap. People only who are properly trained can work on Six Sigma projects because they only know the importance of data. Because they only know the importance of statistics. Statistics is nothing but any calculated value is a statistics. I calculate average, that is a statistics. I sum up all the values, that is also a statistics. But all these statistics is conveying something. So that information, quality of information depends on the quality of data. Quality of data depends on the quality of measurement. Isn't it? How people measured and collected the data. So ultimately, the data speaks, the data is very, very important. So we need to have the right set of people to handle the project. Otherwise, projects which doesn't require much of data, much of analysis, your people can handle. But when it comes to complex problem, critical problem, where we have to use the data, definitely bells are required. So problems have to be categorized. Certain problems are suitable for Six Sigma and Six Sigma bells, and certain problems are suitable for non-bells. Even non-bells have to be trained by other methods. Sometimes it is A3, sometimes it is 8D, sometimes it is Kaizen, sometimes it is your quality circle approach, be it whatever. Some training is always required. But the moment you understand a project has to be data driven, then Six Sigma bells have to handle that. You have to have the hierarchy: sponsor, champion, project leader, team member, green belt, black belt, yellow belt, and all of these are required. So that is called project selection. After even project selection, even the Six Sigma projects are many. The Six Sigma project itself is running in several numbers. Let us say there are 50 projects. All of them are Six Sigma projects. Now, which projects should be given the top priority? In which order the projects have to be executed? For that, the organization priorities has to be properly understood. The top management's responsibility comes here. They should clearly convey what are their requirements, or other words, what are their priorities. Is that their priority is customer satisfaction? Is that their priority is employees morale? Is that their priority is safety? Is that their priority is cost? Priority in the sense, something that will please them for the next 3 years. They are nothing but the strategies. If the strategies are made clear, accordingly we can choose project. We can order the project based on the organization priorities. Once these basics are clear, you know how to use the tool. A simple Excel table can prioritize the project properly. The first project is this, because this has a huge impact on this particular strategy. So likewise, you can convince your management. That is step number 2. And then finally, once you have proper order of execution, then for every project, a format is required. All the projects will be prepared in the form of a proposal. And the proposal should be in a specific format, which is known as project charter. The format will have your company details on the top, and then signatures in the bottom, and in the center, there will be boxes. There will be boxes, elements. These elements will clearly speak about the Y variable, will clearly speak about the Z variable, and then will clearly speak about the department that are going to be involved, and also speak about the department or the boundaries beyond which things are excluded. That is, I'm talking about the scope again, in scope, out scope. It will also give a broader idea of the process we are going to focus on. So this is called a project charter. We are going to learn it today, and you might be using it. So any plan, if you document it, that is nothing but a project charter. If you draft a proposal or you create a plan, then that is nothing but a project charter. This plan is the starting point. If the plan is perfect, and result will definitely come out, right? So project charter is the important document here, and that is going to be the outcome of defined phase. Project charter that is approved by the project sponsor. That is the ultimate outcome of defined phase. Along with the project charter, see, another thing is written, high level process map. High level process map. So this is how the flow is going to be. This is how the flow is going to be. For example, all of you have received a program schedule for 2 days, isn't it? Day 1, day 2. And we, to the best of our ability, we have given some information there. That's called, the project charter for 2 days. Who is going to do what and the topics to be discussed. At the same time, if you look at the topics, only the bigger terminology is given. But when you actually hear, attend in, sit in the class, you come to know about many things. Same manner, when you start with a project, initially you have to give a high-level map of the process. High-level map of the process means the starting point, ending point, and few critical steps that will be happening in between. Don't try to give everything in the defined phase. 5 to 8 steps of the process. But what is compulsory is starting point, ending point is compulsory. Why do I say starting point, ending point is compulsory? Your project, everything that is happening in between the starting and ending point is in your scope. Isn't it? Everything that is outside, you are clearly stating that they are out of scope. Isn't it? So that is also part of your defined phase. So ultimate outcome is approved project charter and high level process map. In order to produce or in order to get your project charter approved by project sponsor, he is the person who has the authority to approve your budget, to approve the project. And he can be CEO, or he can be your immediate boss, or he can be your plant head, or sometimes he can be just yourself. It depends. Yes, any question? Maruti, you are raising your hand.
Shivkumar sir, is there any one good example can be shown here.
Example will follow.
Yeah.
Example, I'm not explaining the defined phase. I'm only giving you the overview.
Okay, right. Thank you.
We are going to see completely.
Yes.
Probably we are also going to discuss on some case studies.
Okay, right. Thank you.
So project identification tools, they are listed here. We are going to learn one by one. Some of them we already spoke.
Yeah.
Are you clear with voice of customer? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
And customer, can an employee be a customer?
Yes, he is an
Yes,
internal
yes, internal
Yes, sir.
customer,
He is
He is
an
the first
external
customer.
Internal customer.
internal customer.
If he is a process owner, if
Yeah.
he receives his input from the previous process, then he should be called as internal customer.
Yeah.
Dr. RK is an internal customer. Can I consider him as internal customer?
Yes.
Yes.
For his topics, sufficient time must be provided. Isn't it? Otherwise, what happened? Automatically his output will get affected.
There are two things, sir. He can be considered as internal customer and internal failures also, right? COPQ.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyone who seems to be a process owner and receives the input from the previous process or from any other process, then he is also a customer. But only thing is we will call him as internal customer. The output is intermediate output, no problem. Still he is a customer. Because the intermediate output ultimately responsible for the final output, isn't it? The intermediate output itself is going wrong. How come your final output will come out very well? So there can be internal customer, there can be external customer. You should be able to visualize all of them. And there is also end user. There is also end user. And all other parties who are involved, let us say quality inspector. The quality inspector is not a process owner, isn't it? But of course, he is responsible for the inspection process, right? So the quality inspector is involved, the stores manager is involved, the accounts department is involved. Somehow all of them, have some influence, isn't it? Somehow all of them have some influence. Somehow all of them are interested in your quality, interested in your output. So all of them are generally known as stakeholders. All of them are generally known as stakeholders. Is it necessary to include all the stakeholders? Or is it necessary to specifically exclude certain stakeholder? Am I right? Is there a necessity to motivate some of the stakeholder so that because their role is very, very important, required, but currently his motivation level is very bad. So this is called stakeholder analysis and stakeholder management. So all these things you should be able to do it because you are the project leader. So if you are a Six Sigma green belt, you have a bit of everything. You are not only a problem solver. You are not only a data analyzer. You are not only a decision maker. You are also responsible for change management, project management, team management, communication management. So it's a bit of everything because ultimately result matters. If you need result, yes, you have to demonstrate all of this while driving a project. So voice of customer is one thing. There is internal customer, there is external customer. Whether you collect their voice or receive their voice proactively or reactively, that is depending on your system now. But we all know which is better. Proactive approach is better. You don't have to wait for the failure to happen. Even before something can go wrong, ask your customer. Try to understand their satisfaction. You can see banks and many service providers frequently asking, customer feedback, isn't it? You call the customer care and then, the call is over. Now you receive another call from their side asking for, whether your query was resolved or not. Yes or no? You made a purchase and within 3 days of the purchase, you will receive a call. Are you happy with the purchase experience? Is that installation completed? And
Right.
is installation done properly? All these things, these are all proactive approach. Otherwise, if that call is not coming, what will happen? Customer will make a call and their language and, the way of communication will be definitely, difficult to handle. So that means you are now reactive in approach. So proactive is better. Proactive is better. Ultimately, customer voice must be, listened. That is what Stephen Covey was also saying. Listen. We need to listen, right? And then,
Sir, one query, sir. So if you want to take a product into the market, so is there any tool that how the product runs, means whether the customer satisfaction, how can we know that, like
a new product development. You are speaking
yeah,
about
new product development when we are taking to the
yeah.
market, so how it will be?
Yeah, first they do market research, right?
Okay.
Whether a market exists for the product and the customer segment understanding, right? And all those things will be initial. And then once the segment is clear, you can conduct a survey. You can conduct a survey. Through the survey, you can try to understand what will be the customer's expectation from the product you are going to launch. Product
Okay.
is not something, very new. It's the same product which they have been already using, but you are now trying to bring it with some new features, isn't it? Let's say you want to produce a water bottle. Water bottle already exists. People know what is a water bottle and what are their expectations. But you wanted to ensure you come out with a new water bottle, which everybody would like to buy. This is your idea. Now the survey will definitely throw some light on how your product should be. You understand?
So that survey can be done by how can we do that survey, sir? Like Google Documents or like any tool or sort of a thing, is there?
Yeah, questionnaire. You have to design a questionnaire. You should have right questions in your questionnaire. You should have right options. You should have right questions and you should have right options. What do you want to capture? Tell me. What do you want to capture from the customer? Ultimately, what is your requirement in the survey?
Okay.
I will develop product once the specifications are clear.
Okay.
Your question should directly, indirectly target the specifications. But customer may not know the specifications in technical language. Correct?
Yes.
So you have to ask questions in a way that, and finally you will be able to correlate to the CTQs. Correlate to the technical specification.
Can I add?
Yes, sir, please.
Please note the important things whenever we have a problem in our families. Immediately what we do is we ask our elders, yes or no?
Yes, correct.
We take the
That's experienced person.
and nowadays probably because the generation changes, we will ask the support of the opinion of the children. That's the thing.
Yes.
Close to them. So in the same way here in the nation, you don't go to the other country, but you go to your own country, your own government, right? Will bring previously we used to have that budget plans, no? Every 5 years, 5-year plans was there. And that time they will know which are all the areas they are supporting, which sector probably we can go into that. Right? For example, the pharmaceutical field, they want to go in for it, then probably we will have more, what do you call, avenue for providing our support there, right? That sort of a thing was there, where facilities are available, where government support is available, financially or otherwise, like MSME, you can go to the MSME and what is the support you are getting it. They may say that this is the area which they were, because very many times Gopal Shukmar comes and tells me also that, sir, can we take the classes for this particular subject? I think they will support, right? So similarly, the areas you can get from the top people first. And then at lower level, market level, if you want, it's your own friends and relatives, then market survey, because if you can afford employ people, then door-to-door survey also is very good. But door-to-door survey, I don't think nowadays will be of very much use, because they don't, first of all, believe us. Therefore, there must be some way of getting known to them and from the known people, because after all, getting the data should be validated data, right? Therefore,
More quality.
a lot of thinking is required, a lot of hard work is required, a lot of support you need to get from your friends and others. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So you have to have the right questions with the right options, and then you need to have a clarity on where are you right now. If already some knowledge is available, you don't have to try to understand everything through the survey. Use the knowledge.
And the survey questions are also more important. There is a software called SPSS, purely for such type of surveys, right?
Yeah.
Go through that and how to group the questions, how to group the people, and how to group your products. All are very, very important there.
And so if knowledge is available, you don't have to include the same thing in your survey. But if nothing is available, you have to start from the scratch. Then your survey will be obviously longer. There will be more questions and then more options. Ultimately, you are trying to capture their requirement. And from the requirement, you are trying to capture the CTQs, nothing but the technical specification. After reaching the specification, you want to arrange them in a proper order, isn't it? Which is most important. Am I right? You need to identify the specification. And once the specifications are identified, you need them in order. Why order is required? Because you have a limited budget. Just because customer wants, you can't give everything. Because from a product, there are thousands of expectations. Can you give all 1,000 in a product which is priced less than 100 rupees? Isn't it? Water bottle is only 100 rupees to 200 rupees. That much only people can afford. But if you ask them, what do you expect from a product, water bottle? If we do have right now a small brainstorming for half an hour, you know how much requirement will come? The water bottle should even kill the bacteria. Isn't it? Any impurities, the water bottle itself should clean. All of these are customer requirement. But obviously, if you can meet, definitely you are in the market. Yes or no? Because it's currently not available. So, but at the same time, there are compromises we need to make. Isn't it? One side is price, other side is quality. So it is very important. We need to know the specification in the order of priority. Am I right? They are called prioritized specification, which simply means if at all you can meet only some of the specification, meet the specifications that are appearing in the top of the list. Am I right? All of you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So there are some tools. Right now, I spoke about few tools, survey questionnaire and voice of customer, CTQ. These are all tools. These are all nothing but tools. And once the CTQs are available, you can categorize them into groups. There is a tool there, Kano model. And again, after categorizing them into tools, you need to optimize them. You need to optimize the CTQ. You should have a proper meaning of each and every terminology I am using. And then only you will be able to differentiate the tools. First thing is capturing spec. Capturing spec, just voice of customer analysis, survey, that will capture. And then prioritize. Kano model. Categorize. Which is first group, which is second group, which is third group. And first group will be attended first. If I still have resource, I'll try to meet the second group. I still have resource. I'll try to meet the third group. Likewise, I'll go on. So this is called order of preference. And then within first group, there are 10 features. And now your competitors are also giving the same feature. What should be your goal? Can you now give below your competitor? If you give below your competitor, probably no customer may dislike your product.
Right.
So your goal is to stay above your competitor. This is called optimization. What is required? It's not always reaching the max. It's not reaching the minimum. It is reaching the appropriate level, optimization. So for that, you can use a tool called QFD. Quality, function, deployment. All of this has to be used in proper combination with the participation of all the departments involved. No, so because it's not that easy for just one person to do everything during a product development. Multiple departments have to be involved. Even the marketing and sales should be involved. The packaging department should be involved. Isn't it? The production department should be involved. Design department should be involved. So this is such a complex task called product development. And the important tools are survey, Kano model, QFD, and there are some other tools also. If they are relevant, you can use. So cost of poor quality we spoke about. There are two types of cost of poor quality because there are two types of failure. Failure can be internal, failure can be external. When can you call a failure as internal? If it is detected internally. If it is detected externally, then it is external failure. External failure is difficult to correct and more costlier. So it is good that we visualize problems internally and then, but that means you should be proactive enough to detect the failure before someone outside of your organization can detect, right? So cost of failure, poor quality can be internal or external. So you need to categorize and then quantify them. And then CTQ tree, Pareto, Y equal to F of X, we covered already. Brainstorming, just now we spoke, isn't it? So if information is not available in the form of data, then you have to start with brainstorming. Because always multiple brains can think better than a single brain, isn't it? So you can use that, and that is called brainstorming. And then Kano model and project prioritization matrix. This is a tool to write the Six Sigma projects in the order of priority. If you want to do this, this is normally not a job of a green belt or even a black belt. This is taken care by the top management. So whoever, if you are part of the top management, maybe you are part of the committee which is responsible for strategy deployment. You are part of the committee responsible for strategy deployment from top level till the down level, vertically as well as horizontally. Then you will definitely try to use this tool, which is called project prioritization matrix. Because projects come from different departments. Can everyone be allowed to execute the project?
No.
Because any organization, no matter how big or how small, resources are limited. You have a budget. So only the right projects in right order must be executed. For that, a team having a proper idea of the organization priorities should do this job. All right. So that is normally called as a quality council or Six Sigma deployment council, or sometimes you give different names like business excellence group and all of these fancy names. So the people inside will play a crucial role in selecting projects for deployment, right? But all the projects will definitely be deployed, but the order is decided by the top management, which is called project prioritization, and then finally project charter and SIPOR. And for product development, as I already mentioned, one participant already asked the question, you should have some idea about the survey, how to design a questionnaire, how to give the option. Sometimes the question has to be asked multiple times. Sometimes the question has to be asked multiple times to understand whether a customer really needs it or not, right? So survey, and then what you call the knowledge on cost of quality. If people do not know about the knowledge of cost of quality, they might think that they can follow the trial and error method, isn't it? They just launch a product with all the problem and then they keep on improving it. That's one strategy, that's one idea. So you can be successful if your competitors are also following the same thing. But if your competitors are doing much better, then you will be destroyed in the first attempt itself. You will launch it and then you will vanish. So all these things has to be done, used proactively, and particularly product development is definitely a difficult job, because you are trying to introduce something which is brand new to the environment, brand new to the market, brand new to the world. It doesn't exist right now, but still you are trying to judge on the defects, you are trying to judge on the failures, There is no one really talking about it, but you have to do everything proactively. So tedious job, but then, with all the tools, you can do it with some, level of ease. So this is what you need to do in the defined phase. Is it clear? All of you are able to visualize
Yes.
a bigger picture of the defined phase? Yeah. So tell me, what is that you need to do in the defined phase now? You have got a bigger picture and some exposure on the name of the tools. What is that you need to, focus on during the defined phase? And particularly in a Six Sigma project. Forget about the other projects. Forget about even the product development. Because product development is a big subject. We are going to learn DMAC here. That means product already exists. Process already exists. Something is already existing, but it is failing. We are going to correct it. In that context, tell me, what are you supposed to do in the defined phase?
Hello,
Define the problem.
sir. Query is what is the Kano model?
Yeah. See, I have not covered the Kano model. Please understand. I have not covered it. I am only, gave you a big mapping. Kano model is a tool that will help you to categorize your customer requirement. Have you understood that?
Okay.
Kano model is a tool that will categorize your requirement into different boxes. Clear?
Okay.
So
Okay.
Kano model will do, sir. We will do Kano model separately.
you purchase several items for your house, but certain items you keep in kitchen, certain item you keep in the hall, certain item will go to bedroom. So you are only categorizing.
Sir, please show me the last slide.
Yeah. In last slide also it came. The
Sorry,
just
Kano
previous
model.
slide also it came. Kano model can be used to do mainly for new product development. Please understand, if you learn the tool to the core, you properly understand the purpose of the tool, you can use it for any purpose. You can use it for any purpose, even in your personal life also. Your personal life
Okay.
also. So Kano model will be discussed. Just wait. Now I have only given a bigger picture. Define is not over.
Okay.
It's about to start.
Sir,
Now
1
just
minute.
tell
Can
me.
I add?
Yes, sir.
See, there are two things. No, certain things must be, certain things may be. Okay, certain things should not be. Am I right? Clear? Certain things should not be like when my wife is cooking, I should not enter into the kitchen. Am I right? Basic principle. Clear?
Yes.
She will be very unhappy if I enter into the kitchen. She would not like me to disturb her cooking. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes.
And then when she serves food to me, I must always say whether it is salty or not salty, tasty, very good, very sumptuous. I should say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
CTQ.
This is must be. And when my son comes and asks for an excursion, they are going, asking for, I may accept or I may not accept. I have the right. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So these are all the three factors which we will discuss in Kano model in detail. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be discussing. Okay, let's come to my question. So what is that you are supposed to do in a defined phase? Or what is
Project
that you will
identification.
deliver?
Customer feedback.
Review.
To define the problem.
Define the problem. When we say define the problem, what does it mean?
So
Problem
we should
statement
understand.
should be correct.
Feedback.
Understood.
Come again?
Review by the customer.
Problem statement should be correctly understood with all.
Very good. Problem statement should be correctly understood. And in terms of Six Sigma language, y equal to f of x. What do we mean by problem? Is it x or y?
Clear
We
ties.
can listen to the voice of the customer.
Yeah, well, from the voice of the customer only we understand the problem exists. But
And also we can find the CTQs.
very good, excellent. I like this answer. CTQ, find the CTQ,
Yes.
and that CTQ is your x or y.
Why?
Y.
That
If
will-
it is x, it is not a candidate for
X.
sigma. You fix it directly. Someone else will do it. Isn't it? If it is x, it's a problem with known cause. Isn't it?
Yeah.
X, it is a problem with known cause. You don't have to break your head to solve that problem. So in our problem, always
Y.
you know, the CTQ is Y variable.
Why variable?
Again,
And prioritize.
it can be a bigger Y. It can be a bigger Y. People might talk about taste of the quality. Still, problem is not clear. Why the taste is bad, isn't it? People are saying that taste is bad, but still it is not clear. Are they talking about the sweetness? Are they talking about strongness? Are they talking about hotness? There are many things, isn't it?
Correct.
So
Yes, Y
capital Y can be broken down into Y1, Y2, Y3, and so on. In your product, the length has to be proper, diameter has to be proper, thickness has to be proper, surface finish has to be proper. Am I right? It should have desired level of hardness, isn't it? Similarly, when you are offering a service, that service should happen within 30 minutes, isn't it? And the service should fulfill so many requirements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to have a clarity. What is that the customer pain is about? And you should go to the level of Y1, Y2, Y3.
I mean to say, which dependent variable is suffering, contributing more this problem, correct?
Yeah, which dependent variable? I mean, which Y variable is contributing to the customer's pain?
Customer's pain, yes.
Because you are worried about something, and what is that worry actually about in the product? We have to gain a clarity. So that is called CTQ identification. I think Kausalya pointed the words out, CTQ. Fantastic. But specific understanding of the CTQ is important. So that is something, this is called defining the problem. That means you are trying to quantify the problem. If you are not able to express the problem in the form of numbers, it is as good as not knowing the problem. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You are talking about the problem, but you do not know anything about the problem because you are not able to quantify it. If you say, sir, surface finish is the problem, and if you can measure surface finish, that means you understood the problem. Customer is not happy with the surface finish provided, and I know what is surface finish in my product. That is one of the CTQ. And that surface finish is measurable, isn't it? So problem understanding and CTQ identification, and ultimately the deliverable is project charter that is approved. If you have all this clarity, I think your sponsor will believe in your ability and then will be able to invest the resources. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If you are still vague, and someone will definitely doubt whether either I should approve 30 lakhs for this fellow. He says he will solve a problem, but he himself do not have a proper understanding on the problem. So if you want your project charter to be approved, if you expect your organization to fund your project, you have to have a absolute clarity on the problem. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So I will now take you through my slides, but little faster because I already spoke on some of the basic things. Hope my slide is visible again. Project identification.
Yes, we can see that.
The tools you can use are VOC, VOB, CTQ tree. I am not going to talk about VOC because you know already. Voice of customer, voice of
Voice
business.
of customer. Voice
But
of
CTQ
business.
tree, we will spend some time and then move on. So voice of customer, you can read what it is and all those things. You can also go through some literature outside to have full clarity on it. And again, some explanation. These are some definitions. So what VOC can be collected proactively or reactively. And some proactive sources I have listed here: survey, sales visit, market research, business dashboard. All these things are proactive element. But reactive element means customer complaint. You take efforts to understand the problem only after someone raise a complaint. Service ticket, customer complaint ticket number, and all those things. Warranty claim, internal complaints, and all these things are reactive. Now coming to CTQ. Now let me come back to this little later. Let me straight away ask you this question. Please read this question. and try to find out the suitable option, answer.
Response time.
Response time.
Response time.
Very good. So this clarity is required throughout your project. This clarity is required throughout your project. If this is the customer statement, and if you pick up response time, you understood the customer problem. Instead of picking up response time, you pick up the delivery time. You are trying to improve an irrelevant process.
Quality.
Isn't it? You are trying to improve a process which is no way connected to the problem. Even if you improve the process, customer problem will remain at the same level. So this mistake should not happen. So you see here, when you say response time, the response time is also a CTQ, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
So you should first now write down the definition of response time. When I say response time, when does it start? When does it finish? If someone want to measure the response time, what is the starting point? What is the ending point? Will you be able to define it?
Yes.
Say you are writing
Yes.
a mail to a company and expecting a response.
Immediate
Expecting
response.
a response. Now, what is response time here?
It may be a day or two. or
After
Yeah.
getting the
immediate
email, replying to the query.
A day or two, correct. Because normally the company responds within 24 hours. That means response time is 24 hours. That means, what is the definition of response time? It starts the moment your mail is received by the company, isn't it?
Right.
And it ends the moment
Receive.
you receive a response. If somebody responds, we are in receipt of your complaint, and the complaint number is so and so. For that, how much time the company has taken? Currently 24 hours. If it is 72 hours, will you be happy?
No.
No.
What is this? I wrote a mail, I raised a complaint. Just to acknowledge my complaint, this company is taking 72 hours. Do you think an improvement is required here?
Yes.
Yes.
If you
100%.
don't attend to it, every customer will be talking about this, in the market. They'll tell, hey, they are good, but they will never respond. You're actually responding, but they will pass on a message that you will never respond. So there is a compelling reason to bring down the response time from 72 hours to let's say, less than 24 hours.
Don't toast.
Further improvement also possible. Here,
Longer transaction, that can be used to track the performances.
Transaction
time.
transaction time is the metric we need to improve. And now again, we have to define the transaction time. When you define, someone should be able to measure. When you define, someone should be able to measure.
Yeah.
Someone should be able to measure correctly. So what is the meaning of transaction time in your company, in your project? You have to define. Don't look at the dictionary definition. Dictionary definition is different. What is transaction time in your project? Who has to define? You have to define, isn't it?
For 60.
Otherwise, what happens? You will try to improve something, but your team will be improving something else. This big mistake can happen. To avoid that, you should identify the right CTQ, and it is also a good idea to write a small description which is clear and concise in nature, so that no ambiguity is created. Everyone come to the same line. This is the problem we are trying to fix. If that is understood, then the right process can be picked up. Now, what is the answer?
Last one, VOB, VOC.
VOB, VOC. Hope all of you understand.
Yes.
Here.
Our target customer base. To collect this data, 16 participants can use
Case studies, sir.
survey.
Survey and questionnaires. Case study.
Survey and questionnaire.
Government.
Sir,
Survey and questionnaire.
Survey and questionnaires.
Sorry,
Government.
survey and questionnaire is correct.
If you do a case, if you refer to a case study, is that whatever problem that is discussed in the case study, same problem will be there in your product also?
No,
No, sir.
You ask your exact customer with some appropriate questionnaire.
Surveys and
yeah.
cultures.
Survey and
Surveys
questionnaires.
Survey.
So, because always, ground reality, we have to study directly,
Yes, sir.
right? You are going to a hospital with some, health issue. Then doctor will actually, do a diagnosis. The survey is nothing but a diagnosis, isn't it? You are just
Yes, sir.
studying. So you can't refer to a previous history of a, patient. Last month, one same patient come with the same problem. Can the same treatment be given to you? No,
No,
nothing.
Based
Those
on-
at all will not work. You
yeah,
have
based
to,
on the
yeah.
individual.
If the data is, if the moment you understand something is not available, you have to conduct survey and questionnaire. That means you have to collect data. That's the point. Now CTQ tree. So, because always when you interact with a customer, you can't expect your customer to talk in terms of, the technical language, right? Even though we are also, working in industries, we are not expert in every product. We are not, we may not be comfortable with all the, technical jargons. So it's very important that you put some efforts to convert the vague language of the customer into technical requirements or technical specification. And the resulting diagram is known as CTQ tree, nothing but a drill down process. For example, in a typical call center of a bank, bank, most of the complaints, customers are saying that customer service is bad.
Poor.
This has to be improved now. Now, customers are saying, the customer service is bad. When I say customer service, this is very vague, very, very broader. So what exactly needs to be improved? For that, you are now further interacting with the customer. Maybe further questions you are asking. Your survey questionnaire has to be, sufficient enough to identify the drivers of satisfaction. Through a survey, you came to realize that all your customers need knowledgeable representative. They need friendly representative. All of them, they need shorter waiting time every time when they call your call center. All of you now understand. Earlier, it
Yes.
was just one word. I asked the customer, what's the problem? Customer says, no, service is bad. But service is bad. What's bad? Now he is throwing some light. Representatives are not knowledgeable. Representatives are not friendly. And they are making me to wait so long. So now tell me, what is that first problem about? Representative are not knowledgeable. That means what? You ask a question to the call center, they themselves don't know, isn't it?
They didn't understand the
They don't understand your
Problems.
question.
questions.
They are not
and
able
they didn't
to
listen
give an
and
answer.
properly listen. Yeah, properly listen.
Like you are asking several questions here, and we always say it will be answered later on. That means, there is a problem there. So next question, representative can answer the question asked by the customer on the spot. Every question asked, within the call, answer is given. And suppose if the answer is not available, the same representative immediately search the information, maybe in the system or maybe from other source, and return the answer quickly. So if all these three situations are fulfilled, customer will say your representatives are knowledgeable. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Is there a clarity on the right side?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
That means left side, the problem is very generic. You are not able to measure. But on the right side, the problem is very specific, and now you are able to measure. Suppose if you are the call center manager, now you will be able to take action.
Right.
Every call, you can ask the same question precisely. After the call is completed, randomly you can talk to 10 customers every day and you can ask them, we would like to understand your experience with our call center. Can you spare a few minutes? Then they will say, okay, sir, yes. And now you can ask, is that our
Yes, city
call
quiz.
center executive gave the proper response? I mean, the correct response. Is that your query resolved? If the query resolved, that means answer given is correct. Isn't it? Suppose whether the query is answered on the spot, or is that it took some time. So by doing another sampling study, you can exactly understand whether your call center is functioning as per the expectation or not. All right. So
Yes.
that way it can be done. So on the right side, all of them are now can be considered CTQs. You can consider a requirement as a CTQ the moment you understand it is measurable by you. If it still remains immeasurable, you just have to call it as voice of the customer only. Don't call it as CTQ. All of you understand?
Yes, sir.
The moment you gain a confidence, yes, I can measure this. That means you have converted the voice into requirement. Now coming to another thing, short wait. What is short wait? You are making a call to the call center and immediately a recorded voice is coming. The recorded voice is saying your call is very important to us and you will be attended shortly. Currently, our executives are busy attending, calls. And so you will be waiting. And you are waiting for 10 minutes. Even after 10 minutes, the same recorded voice is running. Your call is saying your call is very important to us. You will be attended shortly. All our executives are currently busy. And now by the time is 20 minutes, again the recorded voice is saying, your call is very important to us. You will definitely get frustrated. What is this nonsense? You are making me to wait and saying that the call is important, but by the time now is more than 20 minutes. So what is the problem here? The problem here is time placed on hold, isn't it? Time you are placed on hold. Call is attended by the system, but the real executive is yet to come. So the problem is not about the resolution provided or not about anything. Problem is about the call
Waiting
holding
time.
time.
Waiting
You
time.
can call it call holding time, or you can call it call waiting time, or you can call it call answering time.
Response time.
Or you want to call it response time, no problem. But then the definition has to clearly make one measure it correctly. Isn't it? Someone should be able to measure it. Then it is CTQ. Now, customer transferred quickly to the person who can help them. Suppose at times escalation is required. After spending 1 hour of time, if the executive says, sir, this has to be escalated, you talk to my manager, then you will definitely feel bad. So resolution is required at the first stage itself. Sometimes people, they call it first call resolution, isn't it? So if at all any escalation, that has to be done. All of you, do you understand what is there on the right side and what is there on the
Yes.
left?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now, similarly, friendly representative. When will you say a representative is friendly?
He has
He
to
listens
answer
to you.
politely, sir.
He listens to you.
Yeah, he speaks very politely. He is starting the conversation by greeting you.
Yeah.
Good morning, good day, right? And probably he also call you by your name. Yes, all of these customers like. And similarly, when customer is explaining the problem, he is not interrupting. He is not he is listening carefully to understand the problem. So all of these are friendly representative. And this tool is called CTQ tree. You create the tool in the same manner, or just go to Excel, use 3 columns. First column, voice of customer. Second column, driver. Now for one voice, there can be multiple drivers. Am I right?
Yeah.
Then for one driver, there can be multiple CTQ. All right. Now in this case, call center complaint. Look here, how many aspects? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If at all you want to conduct a survey, your survey should have at least 7 category of questions. Am I right?
Right.
At least 7 questions. Just, or you might think Yes, sir, why not I straight away ask, are you happy with the customer service? Some customer will say I'm happy and some customer will say I'm not happy. But nobody knows what is happy and nobody knows what is not
Yeah.
happy.
Correct. Detailing will not be there.
We
Yeah.
cannot identify the CTQs.
Exactly. So that's the purpose of this particular tool. So CTQs are possible for every product, every service. I think now by now you will be able to use the tool, isn't it?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't want to spend more time here so that we can spend enough time on other tools as well. So this is about a footwear. You can go through some example. At the same time, don't think that I have identified all CTQs. It is only an example. Because a product sometimes can have hundreds of CTQs. Sometimes it may run into even several hundreds. We need to carefully work, and that's the job of the product development team. So here it's about a footwear, the shoe we are using. For that are CTQs. And look at the different way of listing the CTQs. You can just read through. See here, manufacturing industry. These are CTQs. In a manufacturing industry, dimensions are CTQs. Am I right?
Yes.
Surface finish, strength of the material. Similarly, in electrical, electronic, household appliances or industrial appliances, some things like the screen size in your mobile phone, that's a CTQ. Whatever is the specification, yes, your product should have the same thing. And similarly, fast moving consumer goods, you are buying Coca-Cola. Will you be concerned about the volume of drink that is offered to you? If it is
Yes.
mentioned 500 ml, you expect 500 ml.
Yes.
You are going to petrol bunk. You are filling 1 liter of petrol. You expect 1000 ml of petrol, isn't it?
Yes.
If it is 950 ml, you are going to argue. So that's a CTQ. So all these things are CTQ. Similarly, in two-wheeler, three-wheeler. Suppose if you are a bank providing service, what are your CTQs? If you are a bank, are there CTQs exist for bank also? Banking service?
Yes, sir.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
tell me a few CTQs? I have written something here. Can you tell something on your own?
There also
They
response time
didn't proper
important, waiting
response.
time important.
Proper response.
Response time, waiting time.
Waiting time.
How much is the interest
Minimum
bank is paying?
documentation.
Transaction time also important.
Yeah,
Facilities, ATM facilities.
very good. Transaction time. If I put minimum account, minimum
Clearing
balance,
doubt.
minimum average balance. If I put a FD, open an FD account in your bank, how much interest you are giving me?
Online
Buy a
services.
loan, how much interest rate you are charging me? If I
Processing
apply,
fee.
how much time you will take to process it? And processing fees is also a CTQ. Isn't it? The loan tenure, if I buy a loan for 10 lakhs, will you give me 10 years tenure or 15 years tenure? All of these act as CTQ. The service provider who has better CTQs from the customer's viewpoint, they will be able to penetrate the market well. Correct?
They
If
didn't
you
explain
understand,
they didn't explain the proper hidden informations. Main
yes.
thing, that once customer taking the loan, that time they didn't give the full information. They are
Yeah, you can't expect your customer to tell everything. How many of you communicated
hide.
your requirement before joining our course? You all communicated only one requirement,
one requirement.
certificate
That's
and fees.
that is the problem.
Few things, because they're all very important for you, and you just speak about certain things, but you don't speak about several other things. It doesn't mean that you should not be offered all of those.
And like yesterday we said implied needs and stated needs.
Yes,
Stated,
implied,
yes.
exactly. Implied and stated. Yes, so that's the thing. So once the CTQs are identified, see, if you have this much clarity, I think you can apply Six Sigma everywhere in your house also. House also CTQ exists, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Suppose, let's say you want to make sure the health of all the people in your family, is at the optimum level. Now you can start measuring certain things, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Any problem with the number, you need to work on it. Then definitely the entire family will be at a better health after 3 months. Just 3 months. If you change the daily routine, with appropriate numbers, isn't it? Let's say you just health, how do we know whether we have a good health or not? We go for a health checkup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hospitals, of course, they may even, do the health checkup to identify the patients, isn't it? That's their strategy. So if you do a health checkup, you will get a report. So many numbers will be written on that, isn't it?
Yes.
What are those numbers?
Blood test,
All-
urine test,
They're all your
CTQ.
health parameters, CTQ. Isn't it? They're all your health parameters, CTQs. And now all these CTQs definitely will be influenced by your daily routine. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So daily routine, there are certain factors which are X factor. And now pick up one of the Y factor, one of the CTQ. Maybe sugar level or cholesterol. If cholesterol is high, now what will you do if you are the person who is taking care of the food your family is consuming? Generally, it is the lady, isn't it? If cholesterol level is abnormally high with all the family members, is it something an improvement is required? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, sir.
But we don't actually do it in this manner, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That means why we are not doing it, working it in that manner? We really don't know all this. We are taught that if there is a problem, you go to hospital. That's all.
Yes.
Nobody is
Specialist.
teaching us to take care of our health on our own. Till this maturity comes, Six Sigma will not be applicable. Whether it's a startup or a big company. If you think, someone from outside will give the solution to our problem, Six Sigma is not required. Right? But once you realize, yes, we are responsible for our result, even our health. Doctors are also dying. Doctors also get disease. You can't simply, believe that, if you go to doctor, you will be all right. No. You will be definitely all right if you believe you yourself is the doctor. You are the best doctor for you. Better than a doctor, you can understand your health. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So start applying. So cholesterol level. Now, which is the process that is responsible for the cholesterol level? Tell me. Is it your work related activities, or is it your eating activities, or is it
Eating
your
activities.
exercise related activities? There are many. You might think
Many.
that, okay, sir, everything is linked. Yes, everything is linked. Can you control everything immediately?
Not
No.
possible.
No, not in
Certain
no,
things
sir.
are controllable, certain things are uncontrollable, certain things are in your scope, certain things are out of scope. What is happening in your workplace, you can't control. Just to take care of your health, you can't change your office. Your boss will be the boss next 5 years. You can't change him, isn't it? So
Yes.
he can put all pressure and he can change your parameters like anything. But still you can't control. He is now scoped out. Understand? But definitely, certain process are under your control, and they may also have a strong influence. Particularly the food, the kind of food you all take. Yes or no? So now you decided to scope the project to focus only on the food preparation. What my people are going to eat for the next 3 months, I am going to monitor. I am going to control. And I am going to make some meaningful changes in the food. What are all the time they eat? They eat in the morning, afternoon, night, the timing of the food and the kind of food and each and every food that is going inside. You should know what is actually contained in the food, isn't it? You can
Yes.
take the help of some, some
Nutrition.
dietitian you can consult, nothing wrong.
Nutrition.
Because you are not a subject matter expert. You don't know what a carrot contains. You don't know what a tomato contains. But you eat all of this. But you can always take the help. This is called SME, subject matter expert. But if you know what a tomato is, you don't have to have a subject matter expert. Similarly, when you are doing a project, An SME is required sometimes. Sometimes you yourself will be the SME. If you do like this, if you control the food time, if you also control the quantity, if you also control the kind of nutrients that is going into your body, will you be able to improve on your cholesterol level? Tell me. Will you be able to improve on your cholesterol level? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 You are not an MBBS doctor, but still you are able to achieve it. This
Based
is
on experience.
not only experience, based on your
Guidance.
project. 3 months of disciplined, effort with the cooperation of everyone, isn't it? Your daily routine, your SOP is strictly followed. Clear? So we just now understood, we all can run a first project in our house itself. The first Six Sigma project. You can submit the same thing as a green belt project, as a black belt project. You can even publish it. Am I right? You can publish it. And your prescription will be appreciated. Just eat this in this manner. Your family will become healthier in 3 months' time. Wonderful article you will read in the newspaper. Even in a research journal, get published. Because it is not done, just by, in a very subjective manner. You have quantified everything, isn't it? Your cholesterol level 3 months before, report is available. After 3 months also, report is available. Every day on a daily basis, what you prepared, how much each individual consumed, the data is available. With all of this, your result can be considered as the improvement can be considered as a significant improvement. When I say significant improvement, everybody will believe in my result. Everybody will accept that the result is due to the effort. Everybody will accept that the result is due to the project. That means the credit will come to the project leader. If there is an improvement, but there is no significance, if there is no significant improvement, let us say you tried 3 months and cholesterol level marginally dropped and nobody is in a position to believe you, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You have come up with a prescription and there is a small drop in your cholesterol level. And you still wanted to claim that it is because of your prescription. That is the daily routine. But nobody will believe you simply because the improvement is very marginal. So you need to know when to use the word significance. If an improvement is significant, if you say the improvement is significant and everyone accepts, that means your project is successful. That means the improvement in the Y is mainly because of the optimization you have made in the X. Whatever optimization you have made in the X, yes, that has significantly improved the Y. This is how we are going to validate the improvement. This is called a Six Sigma project. If you remove the procedure of validation, then any other project, will fit into this. Anybody can do. If validation is not required, I will tell you do it this way and you will recover. There is no validation available. Anybody can give advice, but only with the proper statistical validation, some recommendation can be made. Isn't it? Yes or no? So this is called Six Sigma way of problem solving. So what is the time now?
11:16.
Okay, so I should stop here. Sorry.
11:15, sir.
Some of you can stop me. So we are talking about CTQ, the X, Y, and Z, right? So if the Y is clear, we can take action on X and then our Z will improve. That is the idea. So there are many CTQ and CTP metrics are listed here. Again, they are only example. There can be different other metrics available according to your domain. And you can focus on improving all of this, but definitely one by one. But before trying to make an improvement, you need to know whether it is Y or Z. Say, for example, market share. tell me market share, is it a Y or X? Or Y or X or Z?
Market share is a Y, sir.
Market share is Y?
Yes.
Then what is the process that can directly give market share as output?
Your product quality.
No, sir. Market share comes under the Z, sir, actually.
Market share comes under Z because now you are moving to quality.
Yeah.
When you say quality, yes, that is, maybe considered as a Y, but it is a bigger Y.
Yeah.
What do you mean by quality? What is Y1? What is Y2? What is Y3? And then if any of the Y is under trouble, then you can definitely identify a process behind. There can be multiple process behind. Then choose very carefully. Try to improve process by process. Otherwise, project complexity will become more and more. And see here, I'm not going to read out all of this, but everything has got a meaning. When I say cycle time, there is a meaning. When I say takt time, there is a meaning. When I say machine downtime, there is a meaning. All are not same. So what is that you wanted to really improve? Is that improvement is really possible? For example, takt time, you can't do anything because it is set by the customer. So in lean session, you will be learning the terminology related to cycle time, takt time, lead time, and all of this. And however, ultimately, when you are trying to improve any metric, make sure you have a clarity on what it is. It should be a Y and it should be a specific Y. Then it becomes a candidate for DMAC project. All right. So, So these are all the points we learned. Just you can read through, and then if you are finding difficulty, please ask me, I'll help. Otherwise, this is the learning from the session. Is that okay? All the statements?
Yes.
Yes.
One question, sir. Can we say this DMAC are the principles of Six Sigma? Is it correct to say that?
DMAC is a methodology of Six Sigma.
Achha, it is not a principle.
Improvement methodology, process improvement methodology.
Okay. And the other thing, what we learned yesterday from point number 1 to 7 based on Mr. Stephen Covey's book. So can that be principles?
Yeah, they're all principles. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. So I'm giving you a graph which will talk about the Kano model. How Kano model is prioritizing your product features. When I say product features, they are again CTQs, isn't it?
Yes.
When I say product features, product specification, again CTQs. So once you have the list of CTQs, you can categorize them. Some of them will go to must be, some of them will go to performance, some of them will go to delight. Different terminology, different jargons we use, but it might take some time for you to use the terms the way it is required. The must be are also known as basic needs. Must be are also known as basic needs. They're also called as dissatisfiers. That means they never act as satisfier. For example, in your house, you have a building. That building has got a foundation. Have you ever considered the foundation of your building as a factor of satisfaction?
No.
But if your hall is big, your satisfaction will be very high, isn't it? When you are buying an apartment, if the hall is big, your satisfaction will be very high.
Right.
But the foundation, is 10 feet, one building. Other building is 15 feet. Probably that won't make, much of a difference for you, isn't it? But at the same time, you can't compromise on the foundation. So foundation are your must-be requirements. Even though it looks like they are not hitting your level of satisfaction, they can destroy your satisfaction to a great extent. Do you understand what I'm speaking?
Yes, sir.
Certain feature, it might look, they are not improving the satisfaction, like the foundation of the building. We really never talk about, the depth of the foundation. If someone is coming, we will show the house is, 1,500 square feet, hall is 500 square feet, bedroom is 200 square feet. And we never talk about the foundation quality or the specifications of the foundation. But it doesn't mean that foundation is not important. Foundation is most important than the building space, isn't it? So certain features which are called the implied needs, that means customer don't talk about it. It doesn't mean that they are not requirement. They are also requirement. In fact, they are the first priority requirement. They are the first priority requirement. So they are known as must be. They are also known as dissatisfier. If the implied needs are not understood and you don't fulfill, you will be destroyed. Because customer satisfaction gets destroyed. Say, for example, you are running a restaurant in a highway. You are running a restaurant in a highway. And there must be a space to park at least 2-3 cars. Am I right?
Right.
Because you are running the restaurant in a highway, so there must be a space for parking. Now tell me, the space for parking, is it a satisfier or a dissatisfier?
Dissatisfier.
Is it a satisfier or a dissatisfier?
Dissatisfier.
If that is not met, if that is not met,
Parking
dissatisfied.
required.
It's a basic need.
It's a basic need. Even if there is an ample space for the parking, you are not going to recommend the hotel, isn't it? You
Right.
would recommend the hotel only if the food is good. That means certain features, they never improve the satisfaction. But if there is no space for parking your car, you might not have stopped your car in that restaurant. You might have gone to some other restaurant, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
So this particular feature clearly acting as a dissatisfier, but not acting as a satisfier. All of you understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
These are called implied needs. Unspoken requirement. These are called unspoken requirement.
Implicit requirement.
Product to be successful, if you want your business to be successful, you should have a clarity on all the unspoken requirement. For example, legal compliance, paying tax, having the license. All of these are
Secret.
implied, isn't it?
Implied.
All of these are must be. All of them will act as dissatisfier. If you have a license, nobody is going to please you. But if you don't have a license, everybody will talk bad about you, isn't it? So these are called dissatisfiers. But we are not going to worry about license and all those things. When it comes to a product, we are going to worry only about CTQ. Business level, yes, license, environment compliance, all those things are must be. But when it comes to product level, CTQ level, you need to ask yourself, if I remove this CTQ, can customer tolerate? For example, I want to sell a mobile phone where WhatsApp cannot be installed. Do you think my mobile will sell?
No.
So having a provision to install WhatsApp is a must-be feature. Am I right?
Yes.
Today, nobody lives without WhatsApp. That's required for the life. It has become like that. So it is must-be. So must-be's other name is dissatisfier. Another name is implied needs. They can only have the ability to neutralize the customer. So must-be has the ability to neutralize the customer. Neutralize means they will consider your product. Otherwise, they will disqualify your product. What do you want? You want customers to consider your product, or you want them to disqualify your product? We want them to consider. So please ensure you fulfill all the must-be without any compromise. Clear?
Yes.
Each of the feature you should be able to classify. The moment you understand it is an implied requirement, no compromise. You can't have excuse there, because they only act as dissatisfier. They will only have the tendency to kill your business. but they really don't have any tendency to improve your results. So that is, they are very dangerous factors. Am I right? These are dangerous factors. Your first priority should go on them. If there are 100 must-be features in your product, you must try to give all 100 in your product. Otherwise, your product will definitely fail in the market. All of you agree with me?
Yes.
Not only car parking, there are many other must-be requirement in a restaurant. Can you point out few other must-be features that are required in a restaurant?
Washroom. Washroom.
Washroom is required. Very good. That's a must-be.
Great ambience
Ambience, need ambience. Ambience is also must-be.
and children's play
Service.
area.
Children play area. See, when you say children play area, how many of your customers require this? Very few. That means you are now talking about a small
Delighted.
segment of the customer. Customer segmentation has to be defined.
Okay.
That means, for certain segment of the customer, having a play area is must be. But certain segment of the customer will feel it as a delight, isn't it? Yeah, very good. Yeah, I came to a restaurant, but there is a play area. I can eat this side, my kid can play that side. I can watch my kid playing, and at the same time, I can enjoy the food. So this is different, isn't it? So customer segmentation has to be done first. Having an issue, that is what I told you, scoping is very, very important. If you are not scoping, you will automatically get confused. You will go through the phase of confusion, and you will not be able to provide solution. Customer segment has to be segregated. Don't mix up customer segment. That's called define. I am running a restaurant where my customer segment can afford, let's say, 200 maximum of 150 rupees for the breakfast. That is my customer segment. And similarly for lunch also, they can afford only maximum of 200 rupees. Dinner, probably 250 rupees. This is the category, customer segment. In this category, if the additional feature is possible, you can do it. And similarly, I don't think that segment of customer will demand the play area as a must be. No, they can even proceed without play area. Am I right?
Yes.
Sir.
If they can proceed without that, that is not a must be. If they are able to proceed without certain feature, that means that feature is not a must be. That is a delight. That is a delight.
Right.
So must be you are seeing below the x-axis on the right side. All of you, can you see must be? Wow. And this is the must be. This line is improving the satisfaction from the bottom, negative, dissatisfaction. From dissatisfaction, it brings the customer to a 0 level. That's all. Maximum, it will come to the 0 level. Afterwards, it will have no influence. Afterwards, it will have no influence. Further influence you want to gain, then you must understand the other CTQs, which are linear satisfiers. Linear satisfier means these features has the influence to satisfy the customer above the neutral level. If you are satisfied above the neutral level, that means you started liking the product. You started liking the product, and you like the product, but always subject to comparison. You like the product, but still subject to comparison. For example, everything is there, ambience is there, and car parking is there, and chair, table, and everything is good. Similarly, one more hotel is also having the same. Now both have the must be, isn't it? Now both restaurant are under your consideration. But which restaurant you will stop the car? Tell me. Which restaurant will you stop the car? If you are
Some different of things in having. Say like in Chennai,
Variety
we
of
have a
menu.
99 hotel where we have a lot of options there to
Yeah.
drink.
Variety of menu.
lot of
That's-
options, lot of varieties.
varieties.
Taste is good,
Taste
isn't it?
Taste of-
and
Whichever,
responsive time.
Response time, very good. These are all performance.
That's it.
features. Now tell me, 2 hotels and one is having a moderate taste. The other one is having a better taste. Which one you will go?
Better taste.
Better taste.
Obviously.
Performance feature act as the decision-making criteria. Performance feature act as the decision-making criteria. Customer make the buying decision based on certain CTQs. That is why it is important to understand those features and we should try to stay ahead of the competition. Hope all of you understand.
Yes.
So the performance feature will
Very, very important.
improve the buying decision. Will improve the buying decision. Hope all of you understand. Now that you know the taste is good, so you have entered a restaurant. Now in that restaurant, they have an offer on the particular day. Sir, today is a Sunday and we are not going to charge kids today. It is free for the kids. You have not expected it, isn't it?
Yes.
You just came there for the taste, but then now they have an extra offer, Sunday offer. No charge for the kids. Kids up to 10 years, there is no charge in the bill. This is what kind of feature it is. Is it a
This
must
is,
feature?
Improve.
Delight.
Delight
Delight.
feature. Now what will you do? You will make a phone to your brother's family. Hey, you also bring your family here. We are about to have lunch. And he might say, no, it is very costlier. No, it's not costlier. You are going to only pay for 2. For the kids, it is free.
Free.
Do you understand? That means these features helps in attracting new customer. Can you see that?
Yes.
So it's very important. You as a product developer, you as an entrepreneur, you as a businessman, understand which CTQ act as must be, which CTQ act as performance, and which CTQ act as delighter. Use them wisely. You can try to use delighter only if you have used the must be and performance correctly. Am I right? You
Yes, sir.
don't have a proper quality food there, but you focus on giving super fabulous offers. You are not improving your market. You are killing your market. Many people come to know that your food is bad. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is called Kano model. All of you understand now why this curve is always below x-axis and why this curve is always above x-axis? Can one of
Yes,
you
sir.
tell me why delight feature curve is available only above x-axis? Why it is not going below?
Because it is more than what is required as a
Very
basic.
good. More than what is required. That means even if you are not doing it,
Satisfied.
nobody is going to question you. Am I right?
Yes, sir. The
Offer.
satisfaction level is more.
Yeah, the satisfaction is always positive. It is never negative with respect to certain feature. But please use them only in the appropriate condition. For example, you want to wear a tie. You must necessarily have a shirt, isn't it?
Right.
If you don't have a shirt, but you want to bring delight, it will look very awkward. You should never do that mistake, right? So the order of execution is must be, then it is performance, and then only you should enter the delight. Particularly the marketing department, they need to ensure. Most of the time, yes, the marketing department will try to bring everyone to your business. But the quality department inside the business should ensure we never look awkward in the eyes of the customer. That's why improving quality and up to the expectation is very, very important. Hope the Kano model is clear with all of you. Why the curve is above, why it is below, but one is going above also, below also. What is that?
Linear
Linear.
satisfaction.
Linear features or performance features. They are called linear satisfier because they sometimes improve the satisfaction, sometimes pull down the satisfaction. For example, the car, you are buying a car. Mileage keeps on in, mileage is better. Now what will happen to your satisfaction? More satisfaction.
Okay. More satisfaction.
Mileage is low, less satisfaction. So certain feature can, can improve the satisfaction it is always with respect to comparison. With respect to your competitor, is your customer satisfaction going up? If the customer satisfaction goes above than your competitor's product, definitely customer will buy your product. All right,
Okay.
so shall we proceed to the next tool?
Sir, I have one question, sir. It may be silly.
No.
See, performance line it is there, no? That is linear satisfier. So
Yes.
when it goes above x-axis and below x-axis, but the direction of arrow show only one direction. Why it is so?
No. Direction, it is
linear.
not shown. It is not shown. It doesn't see, but maybe. See, always, when we deeply understand the subject,
Yeah.
we will be able to define everything. For the question, you yourself can, give an answer. For example, imagine your product with respect to a particular linear satisfier,
Okay.
you have come up to a certain level.
That means basically it's
Will
submit.
you ever take efforts to reduce the performance?
Never.
There is a possibility of reducing performance because of a lot of variation.
No, if you don't give proper attention, yes, performance will reduce.
Yeah.
But if you have some process control team who always ensure you never go below,
Correct.
then there is no chance that your product, can underperform. Whatever
Correct.
is committed, you are performing.
Correct.
But the next version of the product
Will be higher.
Improve the
will
performance.
perform better. Again,
Yeah,
the third version will perform much
Okay.
higher.
Yeah.
In this aspect, the curve with the line is always going upward.
Upward. Correct.
But
That's
if
right.
your
Understood.
company, the culture is bad,
Yeah.
people can even destroy what you
Yeah.
are capable of right now, then you will do error marks.
Correct.
Possible, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
So cost of poor quality, we have already studied. When I say cost of poor quality, there are two types of failure: external failure and internal failure. The examples are highlighted here. Scrap and rework are internal failure. Your productivity is low, that's an internal failure. And machine downtime, internal failure. Your inventory levels, internal failure. Nobody from outside is going to talk about it. Only you people will be talking about it. They're all called internal failure. Suppose people from outside are talking about it. For example, in the year 2020, Ford has recalled 375,000 Explorer SUVs in the US and Canada market. And because there is a suspension problem, they have to replace the suspension system. So that has come in newspaper, and then everybody is aware of it. That means that's an external failure. Of course, lot of money involved and everything the company has to bear. So all these things are highlighted here. The product is not reaching the customer's place on time. There is a delay in the delivery. It's an external failure or internal failure?
External.
Because customer now noticing the failure. You ordered a product, and product at the time of ordering, it was committed that it will come in 2 days. But even after 5 days, the product has not arrived. That is an external failure, right? But there is a delay, 2 hours delay in dispatch of the product. That is external failure or internal failure?
Internal.
2 hours delay in the internal dispatch. But however, it will reach the customer in 2 days time. So that's an internal failure. So you should have a clarity of when it can be called as an internal, when it can be called as an external. So the boundary line is, if someone outside can witness the failure, that is external failure. But whether that person is external or internal, you should know, isn't it? So always, we are going to define the literature definition we are discussing, but sometimes situation might change. We'll be more cautious with respect to external failure than internal failure, isn't it?
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So cost of poor quality can be visible. This slide we already discussed, and that is again coming here. Because you need to know the acceptable quality level. What is acceptable quality level? If I keep on improving the quality, what will happen to the sales?
Yes.
Tell me.
Improve.
It will
Sales
improve.
will keep on
Improve.
improve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep on improve. It doesn't mean that sales will go to infinity.
Right.
We have been doing well several years, but still we are getting only 40 people here. Isn't it? So, though you improve the quality, you can't say your sales will reach infinity. You can see the trend, the profile, the curve follows. It is improving, and then afterwards it is somewhat stable. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that is a green color curve. But to improve the quality, you will be spending money, isn't it?
Yes.
sir.
In the initial stages, improving the quality doesn't require much effort. Everything you do, yes, there is an improvement. Yes or no? But now you have come to a stage, to not even recognize the scope for improvement. We think that, we are at the best. Now improving to the next level definitely requires extra efforts. You have to train your people. You have to make them, more knowledgeable so that they can visualize all improvement opportunities so that quality can go to the next level. They will start talking in terms of variation. So far, they never used the word variation, but now they started, trying to control the variation in the output by controlling the variation in the input. That means now the cost associated in achieving the improvement is really high. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
All of you, do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yes, sir.
That is why cost of quality curve is like this. Initial stage, yes, you can achieve highest level of quality with the marginal increase in the investment. But after some point of time, you have to spend a lot of money. Let's say your rejection is already less than 1%, but you have to reduce it further. Difficult, isn't it? It may require, a huge investment to study the process. Let us say you have to invest 45 lakhs to reduce the rejection from 1% to 0.75. Reduce the rejection from 1% to 0.75 because it's a very complex process. Your factory has furnace one side and the machining happening one side, surface treatment happening one side. Another side, some die making is happening. So very complex environment. And how much is the rejection rate right now? 1%. Your boss wants you to reduce the rejection rate from 1% to 0.75. Will you be able to make the improvement easily? Very, very complex scenario. And you are melting metal one side, pouring it in the die. What happens inside metallurgically? We don't know, isn't it? When I melt a metal to 800 degrees Celsius, its complete property will change. Again, I have to pour it.
Right.
When I pour it slowly, something happens. When I pour it very faster rate, something else is happening. And it stays in the die. If it stays in the die for 10 minutes, something happens. If it stays in the die for 20 minutes, something else is happening. Sometimes it comes out well, sometimes it comes out bad. Complexity is more. Somehow, you already achieved a rejection level of less than 1%. It is better not to disturb it further, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If I study something, the rejection to 1% can again shoot up to 5%. My change sometimes may become an unnecessary change. Yeah, my project becomes unnecessary project. This is possible. So that means what I'm trying to say here is I'm not threatening you that doing project is not a great idea. No, doing project is good, but it takes more effort after some point of time. To the extent that the money you spend on the improvement, that itself, may not come back. You spend 45 lakhs, but the monetary benefit is only 10 lakhs. Do you understand? I did a project with an investment of 45 lakhs. But what is the benefit I get? Financial benefit? Only 10 lakhs. I have actually ended up losing 35 lakhs with the project. So that means it is not advisable to improve the quality beyond a certain point. Am I right? That point is known as optimum quality. Improving the quality beyond this point happens at the expense of your profit. You are burning your money to improve the quality. All of you are with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
This
Yes.
is called optimum quality. But sometimes we may even go beyond the optimum quality because of the pressure from the market, competition. Isn't it? Your product is a premium quality product. But still, no customer, your competitor might purposely sell it at a lower price. Now you are forced to reduce the price. You are not only price, certain features your competitors are giving, doing better. But customer is not willing to pay extra. But what your competitor is doing? He is providing some extra feature. Now you are also forced to provide, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So under such situation, based on certain strategy, you may go beyond optimum quality. Possible. It is not that we should never cross optimum quality. We will cross optimum quality. Maybe with some proper strategy behind. I wanted to penetrate the market. So I will even give all features free to my customer. Like when you buy a software, first 1 year, everything, all the features will be there. And that is definitely, company is not making money or are making only thin profit. But after 1 year, they'll ask you to buy a pro version. Some of the features will not work. So the logic is this. Hope all of you understand the
Yes, sir.
curve called cost of quality. So there are 4 types of cost: assurance cost, prevention cost, appraisal cost, and failure cost. You all know the quality management system and whatever you practice right now, there is a cost involved, isn't it? Because you are practicing that. There is an investment. You need auditor, internal auditor, and all those things. There is a cost involved, a lot of documentation happening. Everything there is a cost. But if you know it is assurance cost, yes, it is good spending it. Similarly, some expense we spend with an objective of preventing the failure. They're all called prevention cost. Can you give me an example for prevention?
It is
SOP,
Okay.
yeah, developing OKs. Or you are creating SOPs, isn't it? Every place you create SOP. Do you think SOPs are free?
no.
That also somebody is putting effort, spending time, a team is working, a
Yeah.
lot of effort is happening, cost is involved, but that is a preventive cost, isn't it? Why SOP is made available? To prevent failures. So any effort, if the objective is preventing a failure, the cost associated is called prevention cost. Appraisal, calibrating the measuring equipment once in 3 months. And similarly, you are doing some kind of assessment, inspection. You have an internal audit yourself. All of them are appraisal. Isn't it? All of them are appraisal. But if you don't do all of these activities properly, then you will be spending heavily on the failures. But if you spend properly on the assurance and prevention, your appraisal will come down. Your 100% inspection will reduce to sampling inspection. And moreover, at the same time, failure cost will also reduce drastically. This is called cost alignment, right? So spend wisely on assurance and prevention so that you can spend less on appraisal as well on failure. And there is also a thumb rule, 1-10-100 rule, which means if you spend 1 rupee in prevention, you will save 10 rupee in correction.
Correct.
You will also save 100 rupee in failure. Now all of you are spending on the training. There is a fees involved. What do you think? Is it a prevention cost or a correction cost or a failure or a cost of failure?
Prevention.
Prevention cost.
Prevention, yeah.
So all the training or everything that is happening in your company, that budget that is coming from, that is getting into cost of prevention. Cost of prevention, cost of assurance, even cost of appraisal. All are called cost of good quality. All are called cost of good quality. Only the red color failure cost, that is known as cost of poor quality. So Six Sigma or Lean or any other initiative your company is believing in, ultimately they want to reduce cost of poor quality. And Lean Six Sigma will work well and execute well. If you improve the performance of your process, CTQ wise, if you improve the performance of your process CTQ wise, then the sigma level of the process CTQ wise again. Please note, in this training program, right from the beginning, we are talking from the aspect of CTQ, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
We are not talking in the aspect of a product. We are not talking in the aspect of a company. For example, if I give ISO certification, the certification is given to the product or for the company?
Company.
So the process, sir.
Company.
The process which the company follow.
No, certification is given in the name of the company, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So and so company is certified, so they are putting the board on the outside. ISO certified
Correct.
company.
Correct.
But certification is not done based on the product quality.
Performance.
Yeah, we
Yeah, that
really
management.
only know some checkpoints, some measures are taken
Checklist.
during the audit, and then ultimately it is certified. So that's a system approach, whether the system is good or not, that's all. But in Six Sigma, we are narrowing down our focus from system approach to process approach.
Process approach.
Again, in a project, from the process level to CTQ approach. Very, very focused approach of problem solving. That is why it is quite different and special from other approaches. For sure, you can fix the problem. If you are not fixing the problem, it simply means you are making some mistake.
Mistake.
Either the team is not competent enough or you are not attacking the right process. We can even find out the root cause of your project failure. If you have a proper Six Sigma mentor in your side, he can correctly tell you why your project has not delivered the result, right? But the methodology, tools and techniques are really capable of delivering the result. So if you improve the process, Sigma level, 1 by 1, maybe see here, Sigma level 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. It means particular process, particular CTQ, Sigma level is improved. How much is the cost of poor quality when the process is operating at Sigma level 3? What is the cost of poor quality?
25 to 40%.
25 to
40% of revenue.
But when the Sigma level is Sigma level is 6, how much is the cost of poor quality?
Less than 1%.
Now I will tell you, Sigma level 3 means your rejection rate is less than 1%. Your rejection rate is less than 1%. But here, less than 1% is written as 1% of the revenue
Revenue.
in comparison to the revenue. So here itself, Sigma level 3 means success rate is above 99%. Sigma level 6 means success rate is close to 100%. There is a big difference. There's a big difference. It really matters. It looked like, what is this, sir? 99.9 and 100. 99.9 is already close to 100. But still, in terms of cost of poor quality, imagine a casting industry where a rejection rate of 1%. How much the company will be losing every shift? They will be losing several lakhs, am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in a month, in a year, they will be losing hundreds of crores. So that's why it matters. 99. We are trying to move from 99.9 and towards 100. That's Six Sigma project. So you can now read all these lines and let me know whether you are comfortable.
Can we go back to one slide, the other slide which you were presenting? Here, it is 6.2 defects per parts per million. If I talk of Sigma level 4,
6.2. It is 6,210.
6,000.
6,000.
6,000.
6,200.
Okay. Sorry. Understood.
Okay. So all these points you should be able to read. Hope it is clear to all of you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all the knowledge gained, will you be able to identify improvement opportunity?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about others? Only one person can now identify project.
Sir, in the previous
Yeah,
slide,
sure.
in fact, 1 minute, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
Sir, in the previous slide, there is a spelling error, sir. External failure, internal failure is a mismatch.
Effect. Okay. It's 1 minute.
Yeah, internally.
Need to be
internally
interchanged.
detect.
Need to be
Yes, yes.
interchanged.
Yeah. Sorry. Correct. Very good. I'll correct.
Yesterday I've seen, morning I forgot to tell you.
Correct. You're right. Yeah. I thought I have corrected it, but it still remains. I'll update that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Also, one
Okay.
poor quality is missing, sir. One more slide previously.
What is missing?
Previous slide, cost of poor quality is supposed to be written. Cost of quality is there. If I am
Here,
Quality should
Previous
always
slide.
be missing, no?
previous slide.
previous means this one. This
Ah,
one.
this one. With every additional 6 sigma level, the cost of quality.
Cost of poor
You
quality.
want me to write
Poor
cost of
quality will
Correct.
decrease.
Yeah.
Very good. That means you have mastered the subject. You're becoming better than us.
Yeah.
You're becoming better than us.
Being you as
That's what is
teacher,
required.
sir. You as our teacher.
Yeah, very good. So this slide is also easy to understand now. I think I don't have to explain now. X, Y, and Z, isn't it? Your health report, if you do a complete body checkup, all the parameters that is written are Y variable, isn't it? All the parameters that is written are Y variable. Your daily routine factors are X factor. But all of us want to live more than 100 years. That is our Z variable. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So take care of the X, the daily habits, so that your body parameters will always be in a normal condition. Always in the prescribed level. That too in the center. That too in the center. That means you are the healthiest person in the world. If doctors, if they prescribe a range, sugar level this range, BP level this range, and if your body parameter stays at the center, you are at the ultimate health. Agree?
Yeah.
That is what we need to ensure in our business also. Customer says, I need a diameter 100 mm plus or minus 0.5. Now what is upper limit? 100.05.
0.5.
Lower limit 99.95.
9.5.
What is the center?
100.
If you are at the 100, your quality is ultimate. Always when customer gives the specification, you try to stay on the target.
Yeah.
That means your quality is world class now. So the definition of world class is staying on the target or staying around the target. But if you say you are staying within the spec, that's not the ultimate. That's not the world class. The world class means staying around the target with less variation. If your daily habits are changing, then what will happen? Your sugar level slowly will start moving away from the center, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then one day doctor will call you diabetic. So when the moment you see a variation is happening in your output, there itself you can take action so that you can always stay on the target. You can always stay at the optimum health. So the Z variables are nothing but the business results. You can write anything you want, you can write here. You want more revenue, take it as a Z variable. You want more profit, take it as a Z variable. You need more market share, that is an Z variable. You want a higher share price for your company, that is a Z variable. You want more customer satisfaction, that is a Z variable. Isn't it? But what will drive the satisfaction? What will drive the market share? What is actually causing the cost of poor quality? All of this, you will come to know that the CTQs drive. So the CTQs are Y variable. They are all dependent variable. So there will be a process behind. Your CTQ should be an output of a process. Your CTQ should be an output of a process. You improve the process as well as what is going inside the process, the input. You make improvement in this aspect. The process itself is improved, or the input that is going inside the process is improved. As a result, the output will improve. You can you can connect anything in this manner. Many times, frequently people ask me, sir, how Six Sigma is applicable in sales? How Six Sigma is applicable in accounting department? I am an auditor. Tell me how Six Sigma is applicable. It is only applicable in manufacturing. Now tell me, is that Six Sigma applicable only in manufacturing?
No.
No, sir.
We can apply it in our daily life also. If we can apply something in our daily life, why not in our business? We should know the definition of a defect. We should have a clarity on the process. We should also have a clarity on process output, which is Y, and process inputs, which are X. And similarly, the business results, which are Z. Isn't it? Let's say I am selling what you call health insurance policy. I am selling health insurance policy. Can a health insurance policy have CTQs? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So what is the premium I pay? Maybe, of course, it's a cost feature. And what kind of benefits, what kind of coverage the policy is giving me? Is it the coverage is, for the dependent also? So there are certain CTQs, right? If there is a problem with respect to the CTQs, obviously what will happen? Your competitor's policy will sell more and yours will not sell. And mostly in a service industry, the analysis will be much easier actually compared to. But only thing is connecting the principles you might find difficult, but actually applying the principles is easier. If a competitor policy is selling more and yours is not selling well, now can it be taken as a project?
Yes.
We can
Yes.
take, isn't it? We can take.
Yes.
So what
Yes,
will
sir.
we do?
We can
try
take
to
the
optimize.
spec. We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
take the spec and compare it, and we will note it what are things has to be improved.
Exactly. So your policy and competitor policy, you will start comparing.
Yes, sir.
You start comparing and then fine tune your policy feature.
Yes, sir.
And then the next version will be launched from next April. And now the next financial year, your sales will be better than others, better than the competitors. This is called QFT. This is called QFT, facelifting your product. Here, analysis is simple. Not like actually applying Six Sigma in manufacturing industry is difficult. But applying Six Sigma in other industry is easy. But people have to be equipped with the appropriate knowledge and skill so that they can talk in terms of process, talk in terms of X, Y, and Z. And tools are very, very simple in nature, right? Now, with all these things, voice of customer analysis, voice of business analysis, cost of poor quality analysis, you have hundreds of projects, list of projects, which is known as project hopper. And similarly, brainstorming is another technique you can use. You see list of projects, you can read through. The projects have come from different departments. HR also has come up with a project idea. Support department also has, customer support also has come up. Production, assembly, manufacturing, every department, even other department also can be included. Some of them are DMAC project, some of them are DFSS project. You know what is DFSS? You improve something, that is DMAC. You introduce something new, that is DFSS. You design a new machine, that's a DFSS. So similarly, the saving potential is highlighted. Likewise, projects can be listed in any industry. You need to know what kind of issues are repeatedly happening. So projects in processing industry, food processing industry, you can read through, the slides are given to you already. So projects in military application, right? And some projects in healthcare, medical error, because often people think this, how this can be applied in healthcare. Reducing the laboratory turnover time, managing the patient appointments, and optimizing the resources for machines like MRI, etc. You can think of measuring OE for MRI because the costlier equipments in the hospital, if they remain underutilized, and that's a wastage of resources, isn't it? So you can you think of discharging the patients faster? So these are all some projects in healthcare. So projects.
Sir, one more question. Can I use the Six Sigma projects in warehouse also?
Yes.
In which field?
Why not? In warehouse, what do you do? You keep inventory, right?
Yes.
Reduce the inventory. That is a Six Sigma project.
Okay.
Because you keeping inventory doesn't add any value to the business.
Mhm.
Some point of time, they might even think that, having why we should have a warehouse manager.
Mhm.
Unless and until you help them reduce the inventory, isn't it?
Mhm.
So inventory reduction can be a good project. Improving inventory accuracy can be a good project. Improving inventory turnover ratio can be a good project.
Minimizing inventory carrying cost.
Minimizing inventory carrying cost can be a good project.
Okay,
Isn't
sir.
it? Lot of things can be done. So you have a list of projects now with all these tools and techniques in place. And these are the learnings. Hope you can read all the lines comfortably, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is the time now, please?
It is 12:27.
12:30. Yeah, okay. So I'm going very slow now. So now I am taking you through a software called Minitab, where we can discuss one interesting tool known as Pareto, so that we can see with some data in hand, we can understand the problem well. Am I right? If some data is available, then understanding on the problem can be better. So I will quickly show something. Okay, just a minute. I need the exact data. So yesterday I have shared the Excel file. Hope all of you have downloaded, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
please download. Please stick to the instruction then and there, because after 6 days, you will be flooded with a lot of information. You will not know where what is available, right? So you have to be systematic during the learning period, so that when it is required, you can know all of them will be available. Even the learnings, whatever you learned here, your notes can speak better than the material we have given, right? All right. So now, can you see my screen now? This is called a Minitab screen.
Yeah.
I'll also give you a link by using which you all can install Minitab trial version in your laptop. It is good that all of you do that, installation and do some practice parallelly. But after 1 month, you can have a cloud account. You can have an account in the cloud version of the Minitab, and that's how. Otherwise, you have to buy a license. So in Minitab, this area, you can see my cursor moving. This area is known as worksheet. This area is known as worksheet, something similar to Excel. You can copy or you can type. And there is a gray bar. That's the first row. This row is meant for giving headings to your column. Don't type your data there. You can type your data here. Headings have to be typed here. And now this area, here I am typing. This area is known as session window. You can see here, session window. Here, the statistical reports will appear based on the data. Whatever data you have in the spreadsheet, and according to the statistical analysis, reports will come here. Any graph required, that will pop up separately as a third window. So at any point of time, you will at least have 3 windows. One is worksheet, other one is session window. Another one is the graph window. You can use whichever required and you can read. And now, can you please read out what is typed here in column 1?
Defective button, loose thread, misaligned fabric,
Fabric stains.
Stitching defects, hemming.
These are all
defects.
various types of defects happening in a company. What is this company? What is this
textile
industry about?
industry,
Garments.
textile
Garments.
Very good. Okay, it is a garment industry. So similar type of listing of problem is possible for you also in your company also.
Right.
You can type down, you can replace all of this with, your type of defects. And now count means frequency of the problem, right? Count means the number of instances this problem has happened. See here, defect 10 happened 217 times. That means over a particular period of time. Isn't it? The duration of study is very important. Let's say it is 1 month. So that means in 30 days time, how many times your defective button instance is noted? 417. That is a non-conformance is recorded. NCR report, right? Non-conformance report. So 217 instances of defective button happened. Similarly, everything has got a number. Unless and until you have the habit of documenting the failure, this kind of information will not be available.
Correct.
You have to go with a gut feeling. Sir, this is happening more, this is happening less. So the more or less sometimes have to be defined properly. You need numbers. That's why documentation. So now I want you to visualize this. For visualizing, let us plot a Pareto. There is a stat option. There is quality tools. There is Pareto. I'll repeat this for all of you. Where should I go?
Stats.
Then I come to
Quality tools.
Then I come to Pareto. Can one of you read the description that is coming under Pareto?
Display defects in order of decreasing frequency to prioritize improvement efforts.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
will display defects in order of decreasing frequency so that your improvement efforts gets prioritized. I can always pick randomly any of this problem and then work. But if I work on the right project, the benefit will be more. This is called a prioritization, right? So stat, quality tools, Pareto. Now it is asking defects. Which column contains defects? Column 1. I click and select. Which column contains
C2. Yeah.
C2. Click and select. Just by giving these two, you give OK. Are you able to see a Pareto now?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Pareto is clearly communicating. Defective buttons is happening more frequently. Yes or no?
Yes.
And the height of the bar talks about the number of instances. Can you see here?
Yes.
The left side, it talks about number of instances. The right side, the same thing in terms of percentage contribution. In terms of percentage contribution. If there are 100 problems happening, at least 44 problems are defective buttons. Am I right?
Yeah.
How do I get this? Totally, there are about 491, I believe. 491 failures recorded. How do I know? I sum up all the numbers. When I sum up all the numbers, I understand 492. 492. Out of 492, defective button itself is how many? 217.
17.
Can one of you tell me how much is this ratio or how much is the contribution of defective button with respect to total defects of 492? How to calculate this? Can you tell me?
217 by 492.
492.
Percentage we can get.
217 divided by 492 multiplied by 100. That will do this
44%. Yeah.
So we understand everything about defective button. See, you can always tell, your boss, sir, defective button is the major problem. You can leave it. You can always tell, sir, the there is 44.1% of the defects are due to defective buttons. I mean, 44.1% of our cost of poor quality are due to defective button. In a month, it is happening 217 times. Now the problem is defined better, isn't it?
Yes.
You are now communicating better. And moreover, if even you don't have to explain, your boss himself will come to know all of this. That is the power of tools. That's the power of visualization. And it is Pareto. Now, second defect, frequency is 112. What will be its contribution? Stitching defects?
22.8%.
22.8. Defective button, stitching defects. Together, what will be the contribution?
66.9.
66.9. This is called cumulative percentage. 1 and 2 together contributes 66.9. 1, 2, and 3 together contributes how much?
80% cumulative.
That means 80% of your cost of poor quality are due to defective buttons, stitching defects, and loose thread. Only fix these three problems, 80% of the customer complaints will vanish. All right? 80% of the customer complaint will vanish if you just focus on three defects. That's how you can use this tool Pareto. So first point corresponds to 44%. Second point corresponds to 67. The third one corresponds to 80.5. What will be the last point?
100. So 2.4. Yeah.
100. That means all the defects are now considered. These points are called cumulative points. The curve is called cumulative percentage curve. That is represented on the right side y-axis. Left side y-axis, the frequency. X-axis, the category of defects. The category of defects. Sometimes it is known as attribute data. It is known as attribute data. The data is qualitative here. On the left side, the data is quantitative because it is available in numbers. Here it is available in only words, isn't it? All of you understand what this Pareto is doing
Yes.
and how it is helping?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I'm going back to data. Now, I see 217 is quite big number. It's a quite big number. So, I am asking for the split up. I mean, split up means you have to now read each and every NC report, isn't it? Non-conformance report. You read everything and now you are trying to categorize. Within the 217, you found that 9 defective button cases have come from the pant section. Will you be able to get this information by referring to the report? Possible, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Similarly, 146 have come from shirts. 21 have come from chudidar. 19 have come from kurti. 10 have come from frock. 12 have come from overcoat. Now I want a Pareto for this. This is called subdivision Pareto. 217 is subdivided. And so now the new Pareto that is coming up is called subdivision Pareto. You can also call stratified Pareto. Now how to do it? Can you tell me, one of you? I should go to
Stats, quality tool,
Quality.
Pareto.
Pareto. Now which column contains data defect now? Which column contains the defect now?
C60.
C6.
C6. So select that C6. You can
C7.
click select and
C7.
count is available in C7.
C7.
You can click select or you can double click. Now you can give OK. Now what do you understand?
From
Shirt is
start
equal to-
only it is coming small.
So how is it helpful to you now?
Very much.
Tell me
We
how
can
will
focus
you?
on the problem.
From start only it is coming more difficult.
Shirt, chudidar, and kurti contributes 80%.
Okay.
Shirt
So
contributes.
So
So
drill
you
down
will
is easy.
now, so you will first try to work in the shirt section.
Correct.
You are scoping the shirt section and you are scoping out the other section. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is actually too good. You might think that, we are cutting short the problem. No. We are trying to solve the problem one by one.
Mm.
Am I right?
Right.
So unless and until you scope the problem in this manner, then discussion and all those things will be difficult. Now again, the shirt section, 146 reports. Let us go to the data. When I come here, Now the 146 is categorized like this. Button misalignment, 135. Button damage, 4. Button stitching issues, 7. Now what do you understand?
Misalignment is
Misalignment is contributing.
Misalignment is more concentrated.
Button misalignment is the major contributing problem.
That is a high priority.
People are stitching the buttons properly, no damage, no stitching issue. Buttons are no intact. But problem is alignment. The way they are marking the button position and then attaching the button, something wrong happening. Are you able to visualize the process behind this problem?
Yes.
Right? And that's the advantage of scoping. If you don't scope it properly, you will not know where from the problem is coming. If you scope it properly, then at least you will be able to visualize the process behind. So let us do a stratification for the next level. Stat, quality tools, Pareto. This time the information is available in column number 9. Count is available in column number 10. Now I give okay. Now this is the project now. What is your project now?
Misalignment to be corrected.
Misalignment.
Reducing the customer complaints due to button misalignment issue in the shirt section of Sigma Garments. Sigma Garment is the company, shirt is the department. In that, defective button is the problem. Specifically, but
Misalignment is the
button
problem.
misalignment issue is the kind of defect.
Right.
This is called problem understanding. Now you need to quantify this problem. You need to quantify this problem. You can easily quantify, isn't it? Number of shirts they are producing every day, that should be available. Yes or no?
Yes.
Number of shirts every shift available, and number of defective button cases, specifically misalignment, that is already getting recorded. Will you be able to calculate the rejection rate for this problem?
Yes.
Let us say in a shift, 800 shirts are produced. Every shift they produce 800 shirts. Let's say 80 defects happen. At least 80 defects are due to button misalignment. So what is the rejection rate?
10%.
10%.
10%. So shirts are failing in the quality check due to button misalignment, and the defect rate is 10%. That is the assumption. Now problem is understood and also quantified. Hope it is clear to all of you, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want you to define your problem also in this manner. Don't try to keep it big. First of all, try to narrow it down. Take a specific problem. So now the project title. So let me show you my probably okay, I'll type here. Actually, all this story available in the Excel sheet I have shared. So what is the project title?
Reducing rejection in shirt section.
Rejection rate due to
Misalignment.
Misalignment.
Button misalignment.
button
Alignment
misalignment issues
in
the
shirt area.
shirt section of
Sigma.
Garments. Project title is attractive. It has some meaning, isn't it? Now we have to write all these things so that our project charter will be ready. Business case, problem statement, goal statement, scope statement, problem statement, goal statements, scope statement. Then we need timeline. Then we need team members. And then we need signatures. And if required, some definitions have to be added. Any terminology, if you think it is confusing, then you can define, and that is called operational definition. For example, when I say rejection rate, that also can be defined. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is
10%
applicable only for the shirt section. So what is
10%.
what is rejection rate?
10%.
Definition. Shirts with button misalignment defects divided by
Number of shirts produced.
shirts produced. Very clear?
Yeah.
Everyone is on the same line.
Yes.
Now we are giving only focus on the button misalignment. So now we need the baseline. The baseline right now is approximate. So or otherwise, instead of using the word baseline, let me use current rejection rate. We just now discussed that out of 800 shirts, there are 80, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is 10%. So what will be the cost of poor quality here?
So 80 into cost of the cost.
Earlier, yesterday, we understood it is not just cost of 800 shirts. I mean, cost of 80 shirts. Much more than that, isn't it?
Yes.
What are the other things? Your efforts are
That's
wasted.
overhead.
Time.
Your time is wasted.
Time.
Yeah, all
Your
overheads.
name is destroyed. Many
Overhead
things.
cost.
And your employee is getting frustrated. He is not able
Customer
to leave on
unhappy.
time. And
Material
delivery,
also loss.
delayed delivery.
Yes.
Can you see your definition of cost of poor quality? There is a direct component, there are many indirect components. And over and above, for no reason, you have wasted the raw material. Now that has to be procured again.
Yeah.
So many complications are happening. Raw material shortage. And your workplace is looking ugly. Lot of undamaged pieces lying on the floor. The line is looking awkward. All these things are cost of poor quality. The more mathematical you are, the more projection you can make. Some little knowledge is required, isn't it, to convert everything into dollars? It's not that difficult.
Correct.
Not that difficult, but some effort is required. But if you don't want, sometimes we don't calculate everything. So in those cases, cost of poor quality will be just the 80 shirts. And what could be the cost of one shirt? Suppose if it is an export quality garment, how much it is approximately?
It may be 1,700, 1,800.
So a round figure, 1,000 rupees we are keeping. So 1,000 rupees into 80 shirts, how much lost?
80,000.
80,000 rupees. The company is burning every single shift. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So in a day, let us assume this company is running for 2 shifts. So it is burning 1.6 lakhs
1.6 lakhs.
per day. So now we are going to cost of poor quality per month. Per month maybe 1.6 into
25.
25 days. So how much it is then? Can you help me with the value?
40 lakhs.
4 lakhs. 40 lakhs.
40 lakhs.
How much?
40 lakhs. 40 lakhs.
4 million. 4 million.
That's what, round 40, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So 40 lakhs, very good. So always benefit or loss must be calculated annually.
Yes.
So the cost of poor quality is
480
40 into
million.
12.
12 for the 48. 480
How much
million.
it is?
480.
480 million. Yeah. 4.8 crores.
4.8 crores. Is it a good project to work on?
Yes.
Yes.
So the saving potential is how much?
4.8 crores.
4.8 crore. Suppose if you are not successful in the first attempt itself, because now the rejection rate is 10%. If you bring it to 5%, there
50%,
itself you are paying
2.4
crores.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
other things also will come down, it is much more than 2.4 crores. You can even account it as 3.5 crores, possible.
Yeah.
You need to have a working, that's all. You create,
Right.
open an Excel file, type down all of this to best of your knowledge, and then you can even say you are saving 3 lakhs or some, sorry, 3 crores or 3.5 crores. This is called a business case. All of you understand?
Yes.
Business case talks about 3 things. Number 1, financial benefit. Financial benefit is how much?
2.4 crores per year.
Plus all the other reasons also are benefits only. Am I right?
Yeah.
For example, number 2. First thing is your
Sir, we can say intangible and tangible.
yeah, exactly. The intangible also now we are trying to write down. For
Yeah.
example, your workplace is neat and clean now.
Yeah, 5 years advantage.
Yes, your 5S score improves. And then what happened? Your on-time delivery starts improving,
Yes.
isn't it? Your raw material cost going down. Am I right?
Yes, transportation cost will come down.
Reduces, and transportation cost.
Storage space reduce.
Inventory.
Employee motivation will be better,
Yes.
and your brand image
Improve.
will improve. So new customers will come. Existing customer will bring new customer because you are always, on-time delivery. These are something customer always like. So these are all called non-financial benefit. Will you be able to write like this? Yes, financial benefit and non-financial benefit. These are called X or Y or Z. Come on. What are these?
Tangible is Z.
All are Z only here. So many Z variables are getting impacted. If I improve all of this, my top management will be impressed, isn't it? You are giving them enough business case in terms of dollars as well as in terms of reputation, etc., etc., etc. All of you, do you understand? Do you think this is good enough to impress your boss and get your project approved? The first thing your management will be reading is business case.
Okay.
So even before talking about the problem, you should talk about the business case. This is what can impress them. But straightforward, just 2 lines, but really impressive. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you have attended my lectures yesterday thoroughly, then you can add one more. You know what is that one more? Alignment with
Strategic goals.
exactly strategic priorities or strategic goals. They have been keep on talking about certain things. Every meeting, every circular, every notice board, every wall will carry this. Isn't it?
Yes.
By bringing that in your project, you are showing the alignment, isn't it? It may be customer satisfaction, or it may be, the profitability, but that the same word your top management should also be using. You have to link, then it is done. This is called a business case. See, if you know this, you can develop your first project charter, which is ready to be approved. If you refer the sample, all of them will be wrong. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
See project charter, many project charter that are in practice. Even I can also show some project charter, because in real time we don't give this much importance. We'll be just simply moving fast. It all depends on the situation. But if you attend to all the 3, your business case is best. Now problem statement. Problem statement will talk about which variable? X or Y or Z?
Y only.
Statement is Y.
So what is the measure here? Here it is CTQ or CTB?
CTQ.
CTQ.
I mean, rejection due to
Quality.
button
Button
misalignment
misalignment.
in shirts. This is the CTQ. Actually, since I am saying rejection, it is not going to customer. Right? So I can call it CTB also. But that's not very important, right? You know CTQ and CTB. Either you call it CTQ or you call it CTB. Nothing wrong. But there is a linkage, definitely.
Yeah.
Isn't it? If rejection is reduced, customer gets good shirts.
Correct.
So quality and business, voice of the customer and voice of the business are married here. Our project is actually properly connecting VOC and VOB. That's a good project. All right. So this is, and the current state. See here, current state of the problem. Current state of the problem is how much?
10% rejection.
This is what I mean it as pain metric. Your boss will immediately understand the pain, intensity of the pain. Oh, 10% is going there. That means every 1,000 shirts, 100 shirts are going to the garbage. Scrap. We can't, export it. So pain metric. And then try to add on. What is this? Duration of the problem. How long this is happening?
Yes.
Last 6 months. Very painful, isn't it?
Correct.
So it is communicating the pain, but only just 2 lines. We are only writing 2 lines, but straight away to the point and clearly communicating the exact pain. To whom? To whom we are communicating this?
Top management.
Top management, the project sponsor.
Champion
So
sponsor.
they will try to understand your project in less than 5 minutes. That's why we have to be crystal clear, bullet points. So if needed, you can do this. If needed, like, if the project is, if the problem is solved, what will be the scenario? Isn't it? If the problem is solved, what will be the scenario? That also, if this is only optional, I'm leaving it to you because we have already written in the business case. But then also in the problem statement also, you can add. But if unattended, what will be the consequence? Have you seen the doctors using the same technique? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Health
Yes.
checkup report is available. You see,
Right.
your reading is out of control. But don't worry. We have the treatment. Just, a 3 days procedure. You will be perfectly all right. But if you ignore, in another 3 months, this will become a life threat. Isn't it? So what will be the decision? The patient is admitted in the same hospital. So the same manner, you can also try to gently communicate the importance of, urgency. You are communicating the urgency here. Right? You are communicating the urgency. You are creating some urgency. Sir, if we continue doing like this, the customer will even go to the extent of cancelling the contract. They are already in touch with our competitor.
Highlighting the gravity, sir.
What, sir?
Highlighting the gravity of situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is, problem statement. So we are done with the business case. We are done with problem statement. And now we just have to write the goal statement. So goal statement, we normally set the goal for X or Y or Z.
Goal statement Z, no, sir. End result.
Your project goal. Your organization goal is Z, strategic goal. Strategic goal is on Z.
Yeah.
But project goal is for Y only. What is our Y right now?
Reducing the
Defect.
It's element of
Button
button.
misalignment.
No. Rejection rate is your Y.
Rejection rate.
Of course, rejection rate due to button misalignment, right?
yeah.
Rejection
Correct.
rate is your Y. Now, what can be the target now? Yeah, currently it is 10%. What can be a target?
5%.
5%.
Because goal has to be smart. Right? Smart means goal should be specific,
Measurable. Measurable.
measurable, achievable,
Realistic.
Target.
relevant.
Time bound.
I would prefer relevant, not realistic, because realistic is already brought here, achievable. So specific means already our problem itself is specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Measurable. Will you be able to measure the rejection rate?
Yes.
Yes.
Properly you can measure. Achievable, 5% is achievable, 10 to 5 is achievable. Relevant, whether this goal is relevant to the organization priority again. That's what I told you already, know in the business case itself we have written. It's a relevant project, relevant goal, and time bounded, timeline, when the project is supposed to be completed. That also you should tell. So reduce the rejection rate. The project goal is you reduce the rejection rate from
By
10% to 5% by
next 3
right
months.
now it is July. So by end of July, August, 4 months project. By end of October 2023. That means project duration is 120 days. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Or you can even precisely type by October 30th, 31st.
31st.
31st October 2023. So project goal statement is ready. Right? Then you can go for scope statement. What is scope statement? First in scope and out scope. What is in scope? We are working only in a particular factory, isn't it? Let's say the factory is in Bangalore. The same factory, the same company is available in multiple places. Chennai also there is a plant, Bangalore also there is a plant, Mumbai also there is a plant, and everywhere sheds are getting produced. Everywhere the problem is happening. But in which plant we are working? Only Bangalore plant. If you are a green belt, normally no, your project is limited to your current department only. Sometimes, no, if you are maybe working on a higher level project, this scoping is also important. Bangalore plant, and particularly shirt section, and
Sir,
particularly,
one question.
yes. Yes.
So usually the scope is defined first and then the project planning will start up, right? Or
Yeah, we have not started the project.
because you said target, I mean, you're trying to rejection rate and everything you're defining in
Yeah,
advance.
see, we are still, we have not started the project, but we are right now straight away saying that we know the problem is happening in other locations also. Do you understand? The project team is going to work only in the current factory.
Okay,
Hope
sir.
I'm not confusing here.
No,
You want to remove this? Okay, remove this. All right. See, it depends on your level. If you are only connected to the particular factory location, then you will not be talking about other locations. Do you get my point? Suppose if you are part of the Six Sigma deployment committee, deployment will be happening in all the factory. Am I right or not?
Yes.
yes.
What
Yes,
is
sir.
the point of only implementing Six Sigma, ISO, everything in only in Bangalore plant, and all the other plant will bring all garbages? That's not the purpose, isn't it? So scoping, it depends on at what level you are trying to address the problem. If someone has picked up the problem and problem is allotted to you, you have no option to raise any question. But if you are someone like, the project champion, you are someone like project champion, and now you have the responsibility. See, define phase, problem identification, project charter, all of this, ultimately the sponsor is responsible. If you are a sponsor, you allot 45 lakhs there, and the money is wasted. Who is answerable now? A green belt is answerable, or you are answerable? Come on, tell me.
We are answerable, sir.
You are answerable. The green belt will come and answer you, that's all. But ultimately, you as a sponsor, you who approved the project, you are going to talk to the management. Yes or no? They are giving budget and you are allotting the budget to projects. So it is actually the sponsor's responsibility. The sponsor and champion will be involved in all of this. I'm sure one day you will also be doing similar job. Correct? All right. So shirt section, defective button, button misalignment issues. Enough. Scoping is done. Outscope. Outscope means other garments. Are you going to apply this project to other garments also, or only shirts? Only
other
shirts.
garments also.
Only shirts.
Other garments are out of scope.
Out of scope.
And defective buttons is in your scope. You have written. But other defects are out of scope. Clear?
Right.
Now you have to identify the process that needs to be improved. Now tell me, what is the process that requires improvement now?
The alignment process.
The button alignment. Button alignment in shirt.
Can I write like this?
Yeah.
Stitching
Main
of
process
buttons.
is that.
That's all. Not stitching the garments. Stitching the garment is different. But stitching the buttons is happening in one place, isn't it? In one station, the buttons are getting stitched. That's where the problem is originating. Can you see that, all of you?
But we are talking of the misalignment, not the stitching. Stitching was not the part of Pareto. As a process, yes, on a broader level, what you say is correct. But from the problem perspective, the alignment, which is done before stitching, is creating a challenge.
Yeah, button alignment is happening inside the button stitching process only.
Okay. So it is on the broader level then, stitching of the buttons. We are not writing the sub process.
No, see, are you able to separate the button alignment process separately from button stitching?
That needs to be, if it is possible, it can be done.
Yeah.
That
If it is possible,
needs to
it
be
can
defined.
Yeah. So placing the button in proper alignment is one step inside your button stitching process, isn't it? So this is enough.
Okay.
Stitching the button, it's completely it's a 2 minutes job. It is 2 minutes job. And in that 2 minutes, what are all steps happening? I want you to identify the first step and the last step.
Alignment of the button is one of the CTQ in that stitching button the process.
Exactly. It may be some other intermediate step, maybe step 2. Serious. Maybe step number 1. Can we say marking the alignment? That starts there.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Go for stitching.
Placing
on the alignment as per alignment. Yeah.
Placing on
the
button.
button. And then finally
Stitching.
Only 3 steps. Somewhere here only mistake is happening. Yes or no? Stitching is done. Yes, the scope process is identified. Now you have to go for the team members. Tell me now who are all required to be involved in the team, the project. Sponsor is
Production. Yeah.
automatically these people are part of the team. Maybe if you are a black belt, you are the project leader, of course, right? Let me write separately. Project leader should be there. Process owner should be there. Who is process owner?
Yellow belt.
The stitcher.
Stitcher.
He may be yellow belt. He should be, right? Now, who else you want?
The production team.
The line
Supervisor.
manager.
Line manager. Quality team.
Operation manager, quality manager.
You want everybody?
Should be
Yeah, it's
maximum 6
matter
or
of
7, right?
4.8 crores.
6 or 7 people maximum, right?
No. If you need it, you can. Nothing wrong. But do you think if you simply write, everybody will come and participate?
Yes, because
All of
line
them or
manager,
no,
That is-
definitely.
coordination,
All of them are linked. You
Operational
can
manager.
invite them for meeting.
Optional.
You
Only
invite them
top
for meeting. I think we have captured enough people, right? Enough? This is enough? Quality checker?
Yeah.
Line manager? The stitcher himself? Isn't it? Maybe I don't know. If any stores fellow you wanted to involve, stores manager for supplying the right buttons and right tools, I don't know. So this way you can identify the team members. But make sure if some of them have poor knowledge about what are you doing, and try to at least convert them into yellow belt so that they know what they are doing in the project, and then your project can be successful. And then timeline. Kickoff date, define, measure, analyze, improve, control, and then closure. That's all. Now tell me, maybe kickoff date. You already started, discussing about this particular project. When the project charter will get approved, how many days it might require for you to collect all the data and all those things. Can you see? So far, we have wrote so many things based on the availability of the data. All right. So for define phase, can I write 1 month enough? Enough? 1 month time. Similarly, measure. You can allot the time, and that is called a timeline. And then finally signature. Right? And team members, we are done with the team members. We are done with the timeline. And we are done with the definitions. Signature. Signature, finance controller, project leader, finance controller, and then project sponsor. And now your project charter is ready for submission. And some sample charters we'll see after lunch break. All right.
I have one.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah, any question
Yeah.
before going for the lunch?
Yes. Down straight. Regarding you are mentioned this stitcher, process owner.
Yes.
Are really required for this meeting? Because we are called a sponsor, champion, project leader, okay, line manager is necessary, quality inspector is necessary, and store manager. Why stitchers required? Line manager informed to
Why?
operational manager.
Okay, I post another question. Why stitcher should be included?
Yes.
Or why stitcher should be excluded?
No, because line manager should inform to.
You think
downstream.
they are in the lower hierarchy, so they should not be involved in the project?
No, involved, but there is some procedure in every organization.
Is it so?
They didn't-
Is it
Yeah,
so?
yes.
Is there any other organization where operators are not part of the project? Machine operators?
No, part of the project, but they are not involved in the meeting.
Mhm. Is it we should not involve? Yeah, I don't know, please. Anyone?
No,
Or
because
officially you don't
Offic-
want to put their name in the team members?
No, should be involved.
no,
No, sir, we have to
Because
involve.
he knows what are the process he has done.
no, that's why.
Suppose
That's why,
during
and
analysis.
he can better explanation also in that meeting.
I don't think there is any specific rule that, the operator should not be included as a project team member. If he is, let us say, if he is also, an yellow belt, let us say, he is an operator, but still he also, trained on the quality principles and all those things.
We
He-
should definitely involve that person, sir, because he is the process owner. He should definitely know the problem.
Yeah, otherwise involvement
Because-
and involvement will not be there.
Very
Sir,
good
you
point.
mentioned clearly once, subject
Very good.
expert.
Very good, very good,
Subject expert he's one of the part of the subject expert.
very
And
good,
if defining phase, you clearly mentioned who is responsible for what.
very good, very good.
So,
Excellent,
you know,
excellent. Thank
The
you.
owner
Any
is
point
unaware
when
of the
yes.
issue, then there is no use of
Yeah.
implementing all these things.
Correct, correct. Thank you so much for
Process
highlighting the
owner cannot
learning.
be missed. Process owner cannot
Because
be missed.
after the project is successful, to whom you will hand over the process?
Exactly. He should be appreciated first.
But if he is, let us say, if he is not able to participate in the meeting, that's a different subject. If he himself,
No, that's
he
why I'm
feels,
asking.
that's a
whether,
different case. That's a different
yes.
case because he feels shy to come for the meeting and all those things. That's a different case. But ultimately, his inputs are very, very important for your result because it is his specific problem you are trying to solve. Without his involvement, problem cannot be solved. It is like, involving a patient in the treatment is very, very important.
And he will be missing a lot of important communications also. Otherwise, the process, how it will improve.
Yes, yes.
Your
True.
objective is improving the process. If
Sir, can
process
I come
owner
into
himself
picture?
is not there.
No, actually,
Good question.
one more,
Good
Can
discussion.
I come in, sir?
and
Yes,
one
sir.
more thing.
Can I come in?
Yeah, please, sir.
I am coming in mainly because it's now lunchtime. Other than that, doesn't matter. See, the thing is, this is what is called brainstorming. Understand? Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So I think, you can take finally, consensus is important. If all of you decide to have him part of the project team, proceed. You don't want to, you want to exclude him, then also my answer is proceed, right? Ultimately, group consensus is important. That's called, the, what do you call? Ultimately, that's how you operate. So if everybody agrees, proceed.
At last, I found out the culprit who was making noise all the time. Mahesh Kumar's son. Good. Doesn't matter. No problem. I like, he's keeping me busy. Thank you.
All right. I think we should go for the lunch and come back by 2:15. Okay.
Right. Thank you.